think everything should be up and going. We are going to point and laugh at Miss Anthropony, or Christopher Diaz, which is his name. I'm gonna have to pull that up in a minute. Because, fun fact about Miss Anthropony, at one point in time, they used to be associated with the one and only Toon Critic Y2K, or Zach Keys. So this is pretty much a point and blank backstab to all the people he was with at one point. And fun fact, I got the public information on him from one of those old let's see here. And I do have like an entire backlog of spreadsheets full of people that were His name is Christian Thomas Diaz. Born in 1992. Technically, he's almost 35. And to clarify, you guys are not also goes with La Convoy Thomas Garra. Born 1985, because he's get going.
Hi, you stupid if you actually kept up.
Oh, I did not start it on the right timestamp. This is funny. We're gonna point and laugh at him, and I know I'm not supposed to do drama, but I'm gonna.
You're 33 years old.
John's Finn is Finchgel Harty, BlueSkySocial.com, or Joe's Finchgel 10 hours ago. You're 33, technically 34. Just a robot. He's always getting angry at people for liking Star Wars. Has he ever at all tried to like other things besides getting so angry at just people? He hasn't changed. I would agree. Cartoons, he has not at all changed.
A movie I didn't like? No, you wouldn't. Hi, you stupid if you actually kept up to.
Oh man.
Disavowed that video multiple times over. Disney Star Wars and the live-action remakes are inherently toxic and should not be treated as harmless.
I cannot take him seriously. I cannot take Diaz at all.
You see toxicity in everything. It's
what is it? Is it amazing like radiation? Is it amazing as intoxicating yourself with radiation?
amazing, so you don't think Rey falling in love with her abuser with nay a single line of dialogue between them from the last time he tried to kill her to the kiss is problematic? You actually need to be smacked across the skull with a sledgehammer. Holy shit.
Oh. Okay. I'm laughing.
You know, I looked at my calendar this morning and was shocked to find it didn't say 2025. It said 808.
Peter.
There's a horse here.
Hey guys, isn't it great when someone who did something terrible to you when you were a minor decides to completely flip the script and throw the remorse out the window when you're officially old enough to beef with publicly? Better yet, isn't it great that someone who literally got chased off the internet for being a completely insufferable human to
No. Absolutely, everyone and their mother and grandma both basically got onto his butt. They got on his butt. Wow. We're not even 10 minutes in and it's already getting funny.
everyone around them thinks they can just make a comeback of some kind? Isn't it great how all it takes to come back from actual ruin is to go, hey guys, I'm a changed person now, while continuing
Problem with that. Nothing changes from changing. I know this very well. Very well. Now look at there. We have Diaz. You got a problem with me rightfully ripping into the Lion King 2019 ass load? Wow. Wow. Oh man, it's just funny how he just goes so intensely gonna smack somebody across the face and say, listen to me here. That's what he sounds
do the
like.
exact same things that got you chased away in the first place. Isn't it simply fantastic that someone like that can just come back and somehow genuinely convince people that they're not completely full of it? If you're new here and have no idea what any of this is about, first of all, welcome to the channel. I promise you these kinds of videos are not the norm. And second of all, I have a full video about Miss Anthro that is now approaching 3 years of age that I recommend checking out.
Almost 4, I think.
If you just want the short version of what happened back then let me fill you in. Skip ahead to the next chapter if you don't want the TLDR. Miss Anthro was a YouTuber who I used to be loosely associated with.
Well, he was associated with Tincredit. He was associated with him for a while. He basically said his own thing about Tincredit, and then he backed off about that. Then basically, he went after a child and go after them. He doesn't care. He wants to get angry at it. And look, this is an old photo of his channel. Last time I remember it was over 100,000 subs before he stopped. Before he got it deleted and gone for good. And he is never getting away from anything. I listened to his video about what he has changed, and I don't believe him. He's going to be an absolute raging a-hole no matter what.
With back in 2020 to 2021. We both made videos criticizing movies and TV shows, and had similar opinions on the declining quality of films and television at the time, but we were never really close enough to the point that I'd call him a genuine friend of mine, something he very clearly did not realize. I also had plenty of reservations about the guy myself because of his anger problems and how angry he'd get in videos.
Forgive the psychotic bitch who brutally killed Joel in front of you, bit off your fingers, and threatened to slit the throat of your pregnant girlfriend?
What? No context? Man, Christian Thomas Diaz. I'm just gonna call you by your name because I don't care. I'm gonna rip that band-aid off right now.
What double standard backwards bullshit is that? I don't care if he called you the C word, just take the damn sandwiches.
No, I want to take my brain cells somewhere else. I want to take the idea of something else. Come on, like you just like take the take the damn bread. Well, I don't even know how to feel about it. It's just that funny to me.
Unlike a lot of YouTubers who exaggerate their anger for comedic effect, Anthro would genuinely scream at just about anything he was talking about, and his activity outside of videos proved
Oh. I just love how he writes in paragraphs and just goes on tangents. Oh man, he reminds me of one of my old nemesis and still is. Dark Kira Brian, Sparkle Cake 99. He goes on these kind of tyrants. He goes on these tyrant rampages of just screaming and pissing, basically. That's all he does. That's all that he does. And if you are joining on and listening on, I might be going back and forth of looking back and all that. So keep in mind that if I don't respond, that's not anyone's fault. And also I'm gonna get it on captions.
If this wasn't all just a bad act of his. He has a well-documented history of getting way too heated at people online who criticize him and his.
That's an understatement. He does it to all people of all sorts.
Conduct, and he specifically had a very unhealthy obsession with people he called his hate-dom that he still has to this.
No, he is really, really obsessed with hate-dom. He hates the idea of being criticized. He hates being laughed at. He hates being the one being always blamed for everything. No, I blame him for a lot of stuff. I blame him for being an idiot. I blame him for being a nuisance. I blame him for being a raging baby is all he is, and always whining at people. Yeah. That's, you know how Wild Convoy, your old ex-friend, wanted to try to help you? Miss Anthroponi? And yes, I'm calling you out. You try to let people help you and you disregard that. It is your fault for making that mistake. And you did nothing about it. You just kept going on your hate-dom. Yeah. That's exactly what I'm talking to you. You unhealthy, obsessed with hate-dom. And you disgusting piece of garbage that is just simply human semen.
This day. It should be noted that there are definitely people out there who take their issues with Anthro to an insane degree, and definitely do talk about him far more than necessary, and to that end, it makes sense why he'd be frustrated with these people. But even people who aren't even being unhinged with the things they say about him or towards.
I'm gonna have to say this. Let me go back a little bit.
He'd be frustrated with these people. But even people who aren't even being.
No. The retard goes the other way. It's Anthro. It's you. That's what you are. A raging R.
Being unhinged with the things they say about him or towards him tend to get the exact same angry responses, and sometimes he would take it a step further and actively seek these people out, regardless of how civil they were, on completely separate platforms to where the argument initially took place, and sending them a bunch of long, nasty messages. Anthro also regularly got in trouble during the time he was in my old Discord server for constantly bringing his unrelated beef with certain people to the discussion channels and for constantly bringing the mood down, along with a lot of angry rants about SJWs and identity politics.
Give me a moment, I'm gonna go get my drink. Okay, we are back in business. Oh, let me move some stuff around real quick. My pencil sharpener on the side here. And like I said before, Miss Anthroponi is just going to be like every other person that tries to say they changed. And I don't see any proof on it. He can get angry all he wants to. And that's a reaction that I want.
It's a constant stream of green flags, am I right? To the point that my
I think you meant red flags.
moderators had to frequently tell him to stop running his f***ing mouth. Now, it should be noted that in 2020, I was 15 years old, going on 16. My birthday is July the 9th, for anyone wondering, please send a gift. So I was pretty young at the time I actually met Anthro. And it should also be noted that Miss Anthroponi is over a decade older than me. I believe he was like
If he was 27 and you were 17, you were a whole... Yeah.
(27, 28 at the time we met? I'm not entirely sure. It's also worth noting that especially back in 2020 and all the way through to 2023, I was in a very bad spot mentally. In case you're wondering, I'm doing a lot better nowadays. I have pretty bad anxiety and specifically tend to get anxiety attacks when people scream angrily, not when I do it myself.
If you were 17, then he's 34 and he was 27. He was a whole decade older than you. Yeah. So technically he's 12 years older than you.
Though, have you seen me play Overwatch?
Why are you gripping me towards them, you psychopath?
But the point is that at this point in time in my life, the last thing I needed was an unhinged adult nearly going on 30, going on constant angry rant.
What? He got angry when I called out a fan in the sequel trilogy for being an idiot and accept whatever garbage is a spoon and fed them to block me after this tweet? I'm glad he blocked me because I don't want his association with anybody to actually take strong offense to this image. What the heck is your problem? What the heck is your, like, you are a whiny, angry son of a gun. I'm gonna say that. You are a son of a gun that is so angry at people. It's unfathomable. It's just so asinine. It's so acid. It's so toxic. It's so radiative. He's like irradiating this, like, toxic masculinity of entitlement. He is so entitled to don't give two craps. If he gives a crap, then why would you post an image of that? Of Crimson Mayhem? Why?
Rants, including in my own Discord server, who I genuinely felt uncomfortable around. On top of this, I had found out he was also
let me look at that. Wait, that went a little too fast. I'm telling you, Star Wars sequel trilogy fans make up some of the most insufferable, on the planet. The length that they go in order to justify the god-awful storyline of Rian Johnson, J.J. Abrams, and also Kathleen Kennedy, and also Disney put display is so mind-bending and retarded. And when they speak out the truth about these movies, they're objectively dog shit. No, your opinion is dog shit. And no human being of any shred of intelligence. Okay, if you had the intelligence to give me a reason, look at this, on, like, May the 11th, 2021, wow. 4 years ago.
my own Discord server, who I genuinely felt uncomfortable around. On top of this, I had found out he was also attacking someone I'm mutuals with, and following them over to DeviantArt and their YouTube channel just to send him a bunch of hate mail. Due to this, in 2021, I decided to block Anthro and cut all ties with him and just go on with my life. If you think I should have explained to Anthro what my problem with him was before cutting ties, please keep note that I was not particularly close to him at all, and he was also a nearly 30-year-old man and I was 16. I did not feel comfortable with him around, and I was suffering from severe anxiety. Not to mention, given his previous conduct online, even towards the most civil of Twitter arguments, I did not want to take my chances with a personal confrontation.
They were talking about milking it. Get it? They were milking it.
Even towards the most civil of Twitter arguments, I did not want to take my chances with a personal confrontation. If you get blocked by someone you're not very close to, you are not owed much of an explanation, especially if you are a 30-year-old man and the person blocking you is a minor. So then,
and also being a brony too. Call myself out. Talk about being considerably a double standard, double backstabbing.
and about a year passes, and suddenly I start getting some very strange Twitter replies from some random accounts saying, "Ooh, if you don't get in contact with Miss Anthropony, he's gonna put you in a video blasting his haters." Ooh, it was Miss Anthropony. It was Miss Anthropony, okay? At the start of 2022, Anthro, being the glowing brain genius that he is, decided to hop on a sock puppet account and start
I remember him using this thing on Twitter when La Convoy was calling him out the first time. And a few other people before you, cartoonish.
threatening me while pretending he was a completely different person. And it wasn't very hard to figure out it was Anthro, given he was saying a bunch of shit that only Anthro himself would have knowledge about, especially because me blocking him was not a public ordeal, it was quite private and discreet. And also the entirety of the account's reply history was him beefing with literally anyone who was even mildly
Man. He has one brain cell, folks. It's to always be a total R. And I'm gonna say, he's a total retard. That's all he is. He's not smart. He's just like one of those kind of people that I mostly see sometimes that complain.
So after Anthro decided to equip the worst sock puppet account in recorded history, I fully put him on blast on Twitter. Blair TV, a former friend of mine, also grilled him in DMs over this.
Oh, that's a whole other can of worms I don't want to open.
Because the story has enough side characters in it already, let's just get to Lio. This would then catch the attention of Lio Convoy. Just to be clear, Lio has plenty of his own problems and they haven't...
It doesn't get any better. It just gets worse. Man, what a double story. What a double crossing, double infallible stuff.
Associated with him since the beginning of last year, so hold your complaints, who then marched straight into a call Anthro was in his server and got him to fold and admit the account was him in no time flat because he's the only person in the world Anthro seems to actually be scared of. After this, there was a massive fiasco with Anthro impulsively making 2 terrible and now deleted apology videos towards me, but long story short, Anthro, a 30-year-old man, couldn't handle being randomly blocked by a 16-year-old who wasn't even close to him, and as a result, about a year later decided to baby rage and send threats while pretending to be someone else and made a complete and utter ass of himself in the process. Okay, recap over. Welcome back anyone who skipped that last section. Since the events of early 2022, a lot has happened in regards to Anthropony. For starters, he took everyone's advice and changed his name to have a much less unfortunate acronym, but what happened after I dropped my video?
That name sucks, cause it's still him.
And set the record straight. This is all necessary context so you have a better
There he is, Diaz Station.
grasp of what's recently happened and why I now feel the need to make this video. I will try to be as brief as I can. After taking a massive break, Anthro came back to YouTube claiming to be much better than he was previously. He wasn't.
No!
Within only a
He
year,
wasn't any better. He was still the same one. He is still the same person with no legitimacy to change. That's the whole epitome of him. The whole epitome of him is being an idiot.
of doing this entire channel rebrand and telling everyone that he's gotten his act together and he's putting his life back together by getting a job and stuff, everyone found out he was doing the sock puppet to people again, and this time he was saying far more graphic and violent things. And after constantly being given second chances by many of his friends and associates, he just kept doing it. This would eventually lead to Lio Convoy kicking him to the curb. If you're curious, watch those videos because they contain the full unedited calls of Anthro being confronted.
By the way, I'm possibly going to go to those in a minute. After we get through here.
On his unhinged behavior, including one taken while Anthro himself was at work, really shows where his priorities are.
Here, I have to talk to you.
Chris, go to work.
And would also culminate in the most fascinating way I have ever seen a person press a self-destruct button. Anthro's final video before deleting his channel out of shame was a video where he desperately tried to convince his audience that he was going to be better, and then ended the video by clutching a memento for his dead father and saying,
"No more burner accounts. No more angry messages."
do I need to explain why this is the most terminally online thing you could ever post on the internet? And that's kinda how things ended for Miss Anthro Pony.
That doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right. That just sounds like total BS. I just can smell it. I can smell it. Wow. Wow. I'm exaggerating here, but that's not exaggeration. That's exactly how I feel. He doesn't promise anything. I'm going to tell you guys this up front. He doesn't promise anything. Ever. Neither. Not a zip.
He deleted his channel shortly after, and
Well, no wonder I couldn't find his video because he deleted it before I can even get a chance to even view it.
that was for the best, for literally everyone involved. Anthro has proven for nearly a decade that he should not be allowed to have a platform like this. Having a platform of tens of thousands of people, while a small feat in YouTube terms, is still a big deal, and this was very clearly going straight to the dude's head. He couldn't handle being criticized, he couldn't just ignore his haters. Like, I get responded to the odd hater every now and then with a bit of snark, it makes for a very entertaining conversation, but he would respond to all of them, and having this be a public outlet for his anger issues that put him on full display to be mocked and ridiculed by anyone with the sense to realize that being this angry over Star Wars and The Last of Us is completely irrational was not healthy for him. I am of the opinion that Miss Anthro Pony does.
He was never rational in the first place. He's a raging little baby that can't get his way.
Not deserve and should not have a platform. All it does is bring out the worst in him, and from the way he was describing his life after his original YouTube break, it genuinely seemed like he had a lot going for him. He had a stable job, he was making friends at work. For the standards of being
I can only imagine the people he's with during his job is just so depleting.
a 30-year-old man, he had it pretty good, but he just can't keep himself away from YouTube. Like, dude, I get it. I have anxiety.
No, he has a raging boner that always a hate boner for everyone. He has a raging boner for everything.
And I sometimes worry about what people think of me online too. It's a completely natural feeling that a lot of people have. But when you're crumbling to pieces at the sight of any negativity towards you or your content to the point that you feel a need to send a bunch of angry, vile messages, you gotta stop, you know? And
You gotta really stop and think for a moment. I would definitely say I would not have the time or energy to go after anybody because why would I? Because what I do, I silence myself and just ghost them. And a little lesson, if somebody is going to get that angry, step away from them. Step away from them. And don't talk to them ever again until you feel that you have the energy to do so. This is a tip from somebody who has been around people who have been angry at it, and I've been angry at people, and I've had anger problems, and I have controlled those. So I'm good to say that I'm good on that.
for a while, he did stop. But
No, he didn't stop. He had his little sock puppets accounts. He just basically wanted to be a total butt for everyone.
unbeknownst to all, there was a devil leaning on Anthro's shoulder. And his name was just a robot.
Oh god. I'm so afraid of you.
Alright, here's where we get into all the recent stuff involving Miss Anthro, and this unfortunately means I'm gonna have to talk about just a f***ing robot. If you've been on the commentary side of
I've been a part of listening on the commentary stuff for about almost 7-8 years. I was watching this channel way before he became such an a-hole. Like, no joke, I thought he was going to be one of those kind of joke channels, like Just a Robot, Tom Dark, Omegan, and Coop and Seif. Like, Cope and Seth, either one. And I a little bit looked into it. I'm not going to go into that, but I'm going to stay on the Anthro stuff because I know I don't normally do drama. I'm gonna be honest. I don't normally do this a whole lot, but I do want to get my side on the point of my perspective. Omegon, I a little bit watched his channel. I've seen Tom Dark a few times talking. He's a pretty neutral guy. He's not mean. But Just a Robot is just an insufferable person. Like, he's not, like, insufferable like Miss Anthro, because Miss Anthro is going to be straight up just a raging person, versus Just a Robot who is just a creep. I'm gonna just spell it out for you. A C-R-E-E-P. He is a creep. That's all he is. He is just a creepy, disgusting human that does nothing but that basically call women very incel-like rants with all the Sydney Bear stuff. I don't want to get into that because that's just how I'm going to describe it. It's just a very incel thing for him to do. To a child, also.
YouTube since October 2024, there's no doubt you're familiar with this guy over the Sydney Bear.
Oh, man. Chug Logic, I've seen bits and pieces. I've seen... all of it is Chud Logic. It goes farther than that.
Let me get something off my chest real quick. I hate Just a Robot. The shit that...
oh, it's an understatement. I hate him too, but it's much worse than that.
This guy has done to several of my close friends and associates has to be seen to be believed. And this was before the VidCon 2024 incident where he was just...
oh, I've watched Chululi and also I think it's Harley BTS. Who else? Camilla? Yeah, I've watched those videos. I watched the first one on top and not the other two.
Stalking and following us at the convention. Yes, I was there. I was the entire reason we were able to...
and by the way, I did have all these videos saved on my old second, I'm on my third watch later list because YouTube deleted it. So keep in mind the reason why that I don't have it public, because I know YouTube's going to take it down if I do it again. So I already learned my lesson from that, so I'm not going to show you the watch later list, because that's for me.
to spot him before he ambushed us because one of my mutuals sent me their DM.
I already know what he looks like.
Of him on Discord.
He looks like your average jock. Like a weirdo.
Where he took a photo with Turkey Tom at the convention. This is also the most terrified I've ever seen Tom.
He looks so depleted. He looks so exhausted. He looks like, my god, did you really have to take a photo of me?
Look in my entire life. If I hadn't been sent that selfie he took, we likely wouldn't have spotted him in time and would have been fucked. I'm not talking about all this to brag. Okay, partly I am. I am just the coolest cookie. I am bringing up all of the Just a Robot stuff to prove a point. Because can you imagine what I felt knowing that this man, who has blatantly disrespected and violated the boundaries of my friends for ages, can you...
What?
Can you imagine what I was...
Oh man, he is a creep. He has violated a whole lot more people's boundaries than just what you're saying, cartoonish. he has violated a lot of other people's boundaries.
Feeling when I found out that he was re-uploading old Miss Anthro Pony videos to his dying YouTube channel and
My god. Like, I'm gonna be honest here, that is very desperate. That is very desperate attention.
Can you also imagine what I felt knowing that on top of this, he was getting Miss Anthro Pony to make new videos for him? What is reality?
Reality is a subjective thing, but reality is when knowing that these kind of people are disgusting and very, very unproductive.
Now, if you think giving Anthro a platform again after he was finally driven away and was getting
You don't give somebody something like this. Lesson 1 from Toon Credit. Don't give people that are pedophiles a platform. Don't give stalkers, creeps, log cows, you name it. Don't give them any kind of benefit of give them a benefit of a doubt and don't trust anybody.
getting his act and life back together is a stupid f***ing idea. Well, so did Jar apparently, because back when I uploaded my video on Anthro, he publicly commented on it expressing his disappointment in his actions. And it's not like Jar was completely blind to everything Anthro was up to after claiming to be reformed during his Zayed Magenta.
Uh-oh. Wait up, your chef! Oh no!
Hey guys.
Ow. My boss sack.
Oh no. I'm right now watching, doing a stream about Miss Anthropony, if you know who that is.
That's ASP.
Yeah, it's me.
I heard that name before.
If you want to join on for my stream, it makes it a little bit more interesting because I have nobody's on at the moment, so give me a moment to get Discord loaded up.
To grab the championship belt. And she does that instead.
Yeah. But I am doing a video on it, full recap. Cartoonshi is the name, if you heard of that username. He uploaded an updated video about it, so I want to have some people to talk with. And no joke, I used to do this stuff all the time back during COVID. I used to do all this kind of drama stuff where I just get people's opinions on stuff and talk with them like that.
Mm-hmm.
And also, all of the little pit stuff would be kind of an interesting one to do, but at the same time, for me, I'd be like, well, I don't know if I want to waste my energy on him because it'd be a waste of time. And I was laughing so hard when Miss Anthropony said, no more burner accounts, no more going after people. And when I bellow laughed hard about it. Because he is a liar.
You can't see me. I'm not a shovel.
Man. Like, I do love being a bellow laughing whenever I'm basically, do drama, like, because it's so funny when people do this.
Yeah. Escape. Mash X to escape.
But you know what I mean by that already, Lexi.
Combo.
You know what I mean by with all those other people we have to deal with, like Little Pip and his little buddies. But anyway, Miss Anthropony is an insufferable human being that is so angry at the world, it's laughable. He gets angry at Star Wars fans and The Last of Us.
What? No. Escape.
It's so weird that for Julius's thing at the moment,
Don't do that here.
since it's a webcam, I can't really, disconnect myself from it. So, besides anything, I can definitely say that, when it comes to drama and stuff, like, I'm not a big deal of it, but I do love some of it. But it just gets kind of annoying because the people that people associate with is just insufferable, basically. And you get what I mean by that, Lexi, insufferable human pieces of shit and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Ah, he's tired. Now it's my chance. Now it's my chance. I can fully attack him.
Like, nobody's here at the moment. It's like 5 in the afternoon on a... I don't even know anymore. It's on a Thursday, so people got about 1 or 2 days left before the weekend gets here. But the reason why I had to stop my video for a moment, because I didn't want to accidentally, you know,
Reverse.
all that. But let me get into the server real quick so I can switch over.
Ow. That kind of looks like a DT.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna join the voice chat and I'll be able to do that from there. There we go.
Hello.
Oh man. I'm gonna share my screen too, so I can, if you ever wanted to look at it real quick, you can.
Nice.
Let's see here. I'm gonna do it like this. And by the way, if you see it's live right now, so everything should be good to go on that. So let me go back to that. Load it up.
Days because he was not only a close friend of Miss Anthro, but was also a close friend to Lio Convoy. Do not imagine how it would smell if all of these people were in a room together. And I know for a fact he was also a member of Lio's old Discord server, the Senate. Jar also states in his terrible response to the Cinny Bear fiasco he got himself.
Oh, the terrible Cindy Bear stuff. Oh, I don't know if you know who Cindy Bear is, but they were an alleged groomer, if not a groomer, that has drawn the suggestive things.
Into back in October.
Yeah, if anyone comes in, just tell me who joins in, and I'll acknowledge.
I decided to give him one more chance. His fans missed his content, and I'm not gonna lie, it made me some money. I really should have heeded the warnings of people who told me not to work with the guy.
Yes, he disregarded all of the warnings and evidence of Anthro being unhinged just so he could make more money. That's how dire things were for his channel last year. All of that out of the way, though, Jar gave Anthro a platform again. And look, as much as I hated the idea, Anthro at least seemed to be behaving himself for a time, just being able to make content for a different person and not have to worry about having any social media accounts that people could harass him on, which could lead to him spiraling. If things remained like this, I still would have hated it, but at least no major catastrophes were likely to occur. Then Jar publicly tried defending a child predator and everything fell to pieces. Naturally, because of this,
defend a child predator, oh my god.
Remove all of his content.
I'm gonna read this from the inserts. This is from November 12th, 2024. Look, I just want my content removed from your channel right now. This includes the Star Wars videos, cutie video, the... you know what I mean by the cutie thing, right? That disgusting pedophile movie that was on Netflix at one point.
Oh, yeah.
I made to James Earl Jones, the Steven Universe video. Oh my god.
Hey, Queen.
Hey, Queen. I'm doing the stream right now. But I don't know if you want to be a part in here while I'm doing, you know, drama stuff, but I don't know if you would be fine with that if you want to, you know, chime in. And I'm just asking you. Okay, I'm gonna read what I was trying to say. Oh yeah, just a robot. Okay, first you want me to wait and then you don't. This response is going to take time. I need to gather a lot of info. You're asking me for this means I need to re-record a part, help you to believe when no one else did. But what the excuse me, what the heck? I saw this coming. I'll take it down today or tomorrow, and if that is what you wish.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Jar said with just a robot. I always pause it because some of these people don't give it a chance to pause it because you always miss little things.
New from his channel, and if Anthro
Yeah.
had some bloody sense, he would probably call it quits here. However, Jar allowing Anthro to make videos on his channel, regaining the support of his lost fans, and reigniting
Queen,
his
can
passion
you
for video
unmute?
creation, yeah, wasn't your best move, mate.
Can't hear
Jar
you.
knew exactly what he was doing by letting Anthro do this. Whether he was smart enough to see where it ended up going is up for debate, considering he probably didn't ask his roommate for advice this time, and after all this went down, Anthro decided to finally return to YouTube with a brand new channel called Diaz.
Oh, out of
His
what?
content consists of
My other aunt was in a different state. She bought me a Lego Creator set for my birthday, which I did receive today, which took me about 10 minutes to assemble.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So close.
I've got chicken wings
Count
and
left.
fruit.
Hurt that
I
dud.
even tried dragon fruit.
Wow.
I'm doing a like some kind of point and laugh video stream is what I'm doing right now.
okay, it's just the same content that he's been making for about a decade now. Really angry, overdramatic rants about the state of...
You know, if anyone gets so damn angry about the, you know, third trilogy of Star Wars, I'm like, you gotta be some irrational idiot to be so mad about something. Until... If anyone ever gets so dang angry, like, you know, like, you know how when you get so angry to the point where it becomes insufferable, like rage?
Uh-huh.
And then somebody is getting angry at some just because someone likes them. Like, I'm fine with the trilogy of Star Wars of Kennedy and stuff. It's just that, yeah, I would agree it's shit and stuff, but I don't get angry that much about movies unless it is shit. But for him,
Right.
Yeah.
if somebody just gets so angry because he goes on tyrants, Miss Anthropony, Christian Thomas Diaz is his name. And I know that because his name was on a public place. And I was like, my guy, you are so angry. How can you be such a miserable 34-year-old that gets so angry at people?
Right.
Like, let people have their fun. And it's like, you're insufferable if you don't allow people to have that somewhat fun.
Hey, ASP, can I interrupt you?
Yeah, you can.
All right, great. Floppy, I'm making a new bot. What should the bot do for the server?
Well, what do you want it to do? I don't.
That's whatever you want it to do. We can make it really funny. What I really want is I wanted to make it Queen Artista's girlfriend.
We can do that.
All right, I'm on it.
Ghost nut.
I just threw up 3 times after my workout.
Oh my god.
Jeez.
How on earth did you
He
get
always
sick?
throwing up.
Not sick. It's just I worked my body out really hard.
Yeah. Spoken like
I did-
someone who doesn't work out.
After my entire workout, I did 20 push-ups. Like after I'm already dead.
Make sure you're hydrated.
And I think that just. I drank 2 water bottles, but it's no longer in my system.
2 isn't enough.
Well, it's also no longer in my system.
Yeah, that usually throwing up is because you're dehydrated.
Yeah, it's when you work out your body too much and you don't have enough hydration. Usually, yeah.
You know, right now I'm only drinking an energy drink right now, so I'm kind of a little bit hype at the moment.
You seem like a Red Bull guy, where you only drink Red Bull.
Well, I had Monster Energy drink and Bang. That's mostly what I like.
Close enough. Close enough.
Oh man, I can drink a whole can and not feel anything for about a whole day. That's how good it is.
What? So you're
Lucky,
saying
did
that
you
you
ever get
feel the caffeine after a day?
Yeah, I can go on for about 1 or 2 days nonstop if I were drinking one.
What is it, Ghost?
It's Bang.
Did you ever get your computer fixed?
Yeah, I did.
So right now I'm drinking Cotton Candy Energy Bang. That's what it is, and it's pretty good, sweet. I don't really care for a lot of the bangs that are. If you heard the cola, there's cola that I had and Pepsi Bang, and I did not like them because the ingredients were so disgusting. I don't know who on earth decided to think it was a good idea to put energy drink with cola, because that's
just getting jumped.
it's just a whole nother ball game of disgusting.
Yeah.
And I had it only one time, and I'm not having it ever again. I also had a root beer with it too, so I had a root beer Bang, and I was like, oh my god, these people don't know how certain tastes, because I can taste it, and it's just so disgusting, is what it is.
Right.
Like, the other drink I had, which was a purple ras, it tasted like Sweet Tarts.
Yeah.
I have a very tendency to always, when I taste some, I can easily identify the taste, because it's that strong. Because
you know your energy drinks.
If it's just a regular Monster, if it is not, let's say, strawberry or a fruity flavor, because everything that I mostly consume has to have fruit flavor in it. I can't stand just generic flavors that don't have anything with it.
Oh, like what?
Let's say if it's just a regular, it just says, like, fruit on it. I don't know what it is. If it's a fruit punch, right, I'm not going to know what it's going to taste like without having to try it first.
Right.
And also, at one point in time, when I went to the Tonytown, Arkansas Grape Festival, I tried some of their blueberry wine, and it's very tart. Like I like wine that has some tartness to it, but not really tart.
Do you drink a lot of wine, would you say?
No, I don't try to do that all the time. That's like a yearly thing. I do it once a year, and I only do 1 cup, and I'm supposed to only drink, I have to do sips, because I'll easily start to feel dizzy by the time I drink the whole thing.
Oof.
Yeah.
Like, my parents have both said, don't drink it too much, drink it slowly, because that's what people do. Because I can tell you, the liquor that my next door neighbor does, he just simply chugs it. I'm like, dude, you are basically abusing yourself with alcohol right now.
Yeah.
That's a
Which is
problem.
not cool.
It's a problem, and even my own therapist said it's a problem.
Yeah.
And
you should put them in contact with your therapist.
Yeah, I gave her the context about it, and she said, well, some people that have really bad coping strategies will do that.
Yeah.
And so people that abuse drugs, smoking, sex, and also every other kind of, drug in the world and stuff, and some people abuse that stuff and not care anything.
Yeah.
It's not healthy. It basically kills you, basically. And, the famous author Stephen King at one point in time, he was at the verge of death because he was abusing crack cocaine. And by the time he was in his middle to late 40s, his own wife, Tabitha King, basically told him to stop because it's killing him. And it took about 10 years for him to sober up. So until from 1988 to 1998 is how long it took him to sober.
Jeez.
And he did a radio station for a little bit in Maine. He also had a rock band he did, which I was kind of fascinated with that because King is a very fascinating person than most authors I read about.
Mm-hmm.
And I just enjoy, look into people and just see how interesting they are. Like, for instance, Miss Anthropony is a raging, whining piece of garbage because at one point in time, and I'm going to give the context here, he at one point in time was with Toon Critic Y2K. And after that, he disounced him, and after about, I'm going to say about 5 years later, until about 2021, he got caught for being a raging a-hole, because he didn't like anybody that enjoyed anything, and I don't get how anybody can be that insufferable.
Right.
Like, even if he, and also too, he lost his father and cremated, so I don't know if there's something really wrong with him, because some of these people have anger issues. I think people are basically not the nicest kind of people to be around. Because nice people, just, it really depends on what people say nice. So nice can be like, let's say that you're trying to do something for somebody, and after that, they basically are your friend for life. And I had friends in my life that really helped me. Like, at the same time, my next door neighbor, even though he was a bad influence, he did taught me how to fish a little bit.
Oh, that's nice.
Well, because it's a survival thing. You like, I like it kind of because it's like a stigma or something like that. Because autistic people have to have some kind of stimulation or something like that to give them like some kind of like, you know, be there. And that's what I did for a little bit. I don't normally do fishing in the winter time, which at the moment it's still cold where I'm at.
Yeah.
But I can definitely say that people like Ms. Anthroponi is just so insufferable. And I'm glad I have not ever met them, because at one point in time I was in the Senate for about 2 months, and after that I got out of there because these people in the Art CC and also the commentary community are very insufferable people. Just straight up a-holes.
Yeah.
And a majority of them are mostly psychopaths that are just going to lie about people. And that's the most disgusting thing as a human being you can be, and making people feel, you know, like morons and stuff. That's just how I feel like I made the right decision to get out of there, because I basically didn't like a certain person, and I just simply decided, you know what, I'm going to make everybody rage on me, and I did kind of strategize this so I can just kick myself out, basically. And I did.
Yeah.
And I did that on purpose also, because these people were that insufferable. And it's a survival thing. It's a way like these adults, ages from about my age all the way up to about 50. That's how old these people are. The oldest one in there was about almost 40, I think. And they shouldn't even be online. They like, to me, I think anybody, by the time they get to that point, you need to have possibility, like some kind of thing you can be doing without being online all the time. But some people do.
Yeah.
But going back to the entire thing about Miss Anthro, like, they had a rage boner against anybody who enjoyed, like, the new Star Wars. Like, why would you rage about it when you just know deep down that it is terrible, but you don't go after people for liking it?
About Star Wars and everything for the past 7 years. Okay, I don't get this, actually. I didn't really talk much about Anthro's content in my first video because it was hard.
And give me a moment here. Exit, add a force. Like, when I'm just gonna just simply switch it over to. I'm just gonna show the video because the context is needed. And also, hey there. Oh, I forgot to turn my thing all the, like, oh, I'm so sorry about that. Also, users on here, yes. Hello. I forgot to even answer the stream stuff. And give me a moment to fix that. Let's see here. I'm just doing this real quick because I forgot to test it out. But yeah, Queen of Roasting, hello. And also, too, we are going to go back to this.
Hardly relevant. That video is just about his actions towards me specifically, but I really have to ask, are you really happy making these kinds of videos, dude? Because you don't...
I don't think Diaz is at all happy making these videos. I think a lot of the times it's in his head. It's never basically about doing the right thing. Everything is in his head. Everything is an emotionally driven irrationalism. It's all it is. To people that are listening on, I'm just putting context to people that are listening on. Yes, people that are this angry are like this. And people that are like this don't need to be online because they need more than help. They need to be restricted from any kind of online anything online because they are so emotionally driven by hate. And hate's a strong word. And you don't want that. And I don't like it when people do this.
You can have whatever opinion you want on Hollywood, Star Wars, The Last of Us, SJWs, I don't give a flying f**k. Not asking you to change any of that. But you always seemed pissed off that people don't vibe with the kinds of videos you make and don't seem to realize that half the reason you get so many people responding negatively to you is because the vibes are rancid.
And Anita Sarkeesian would never forgive a man who acts mean to a woman. And you know what? Fuck the idea that Ellie having a flashback of Joel would stop her from wanting to kill Abby. The Star Wars sequel trilogy was more consistent than you.
I guarantee more people would just settle for respectfully disagreeing with...
Man, I'm just having to pause every so often. It's just... I get it that people can be this angry, but I'm like, tone it down a little bit. Like, people need to learn to tone it down just a little bit.
If you were moving on with their day if you didn't talk so aggressively in every video. If that's what you want to be known for, then fine, no one's gonna stop you. But you have to at least have the self-awareness to realize that the way you present your...
I was just talking about the video. I'm pointing and laughing at this because it's just that sad. You know the thing from Toy Story. You are a sad, sad little man, or something like that. Hang on a second.
Oh, he's got 180 subscribers.
Oh, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Let me also do this real quick, because I don't want my... And by the way, I am using suppression on this, and it should help with all that. There we go.
Content and talking videos is super unpleasant to a lot of people.
And since I haven't streamed in a while too, the chat thing's gonna be kind of a little bit whack. So don't worry about it not showing up.
Constructive feedback in this video, it would just be this. Just loosen up a little. I get that Star Wars...
Listen up, little man! I love that. I love that. That is funny. Oh man, the memes.
These mean a lot to you, but making angry, unpleasant content and then being shocked that people don't vibe with it is an endless cycle. You can be negative, but there's a fine line between negative criticism and being unpleasant. Okay, that's the constructive part over and done with. Let's get on to the reasons why I am currently making this video. Now that Anthro has his own independent platform and Lio no longer has the ability to wrangle him in when he does something stupid, Anthro seems to now think he's untouchable, and I've seen in his comments that some of his fans are way too gullible.
What? I'm glad that you don't vibe with it. I love it. I love it when people just get rid of people that are like this, because that's insufferable. Straight up.
He now think he's untouchable, and I've seen in his comments that some of his fans are way too gullible for their own good. Oh, you think he's improved and no longer harasses people? That's cute. Open up his Blue Sky account and scroll through his reply history for 5 seconds and tell me what problems you can see. Hey, Anthro, why do you think telling someone they should be smacked across the head with a sledgehammer over a bad take on Star Wars is...
Get it slammed over with a sledgehammer? Why? Like, that's more of a threat. That's like a very, very, like, a suggestive threat is more so. Like, that's just the most insufferable thing. Yeah. Oh, I accidentally click Oh man, I was not trying to click the other thing, but yeah. Let's see here. Get all this shrunk down so it can not lag so hard.
Even remotely acceptable. It may not be a sock puppet account this time, but make no mistake, he is doing the exact same shit that he was doing previously. Finding posts talking about him and angrily inserting himself into the conversation, and he's even tracking people down from Twitter just to grill them on Blue Sky. Like,
track them down and grill them. Just I love Streamlabs because it's a little bit more controllable than OBS is kind of what I use for recording videos more so, but Streamlabs is for streaming.
I need you guys to process how insane this is actually. There are some people on Blue Sky who have previously talked about Anthro negatively on Twitter, big shock. Some people were probably harsher than others, but it doesn't matter. Do you not see how insane it is that Anthro is willing to name search himself on Twitter, find posts talking about him from ages ago, track down the people that made them to their active Blue Sky accounts, and then start an argument under a completely unrelated post? Some of these people are just minding their own business, and then here comes Captain Star Wars throwing around insults and mindlessly harassing them. Do not give a damn if some of these people may have had harsh things to say about you, Anthro. How do you justify this? I can verify that.
Intolerance! I just saw that! Like, it says unintolerance!
Okay, that's the constructive part over and done with. Let's go on to the reasons why I am currently making this video. Now that Anthro has his own independent platform and Lio no longer has the ability to
I already repeat that.
Stupid, Anthro seems to now think he's untouchable, and I've seen in his comments that some of his Star Wars is even remotely acceptable. It may not be a sock puppet account this time, but make no mistake, he is doing the exact same shit that he was doing previously. Finding posts talking about him and angrily inserting himself into the conversation, and he's even tracking people down from Twitter just to grill them on Blue Sky. Like, I need you guys to process how insane this is actually. There are some people on Blue Sky.
I just think how it said intolerance because nobody can tolerate him.
Who have previously talked about Anthro negatively on Twitter, big shock. Some people were probably harsher than others, but it doesn't matter. Do you not see how insane it is that Anthro is willing to name search himself on Twitter, find posts talking about
Velma, Hasman Hotel, Steven Universe, The Owl House.
Him from ages ago, track down the people that made them to their active Blue Sky accounts, and then start an argument under a completely unrelated post? Some of these people...
Man, if you just make a new account just to be intolerable enough to basically be insufferable, that is a totally not a reasonable decision to do. Like, why would you have that kind of mentality? And I'm just talking to myself out loud here. Like, normally whenever I look into people like this, right, and I normally can tell when people are being a-holes, and I can tell when people are legitimately trying to help, and also asking questions, but people that are like this are just the most intolerable people that will not give a crap and always be on an uphill battle to never give anyone a chance. That's the entire epitome of Miss Anthropony.
Just minding their own business, and then here comes Captain Star Wars throwing around insults and mindlessly harassing them. I truly do not give a damn if some of these people may have had harsh things to say about you, Anthro. How do you justify...
There's the one I was tolerance. So Zayd, go.
Boobs in front of the camera.
Oh man, Zayd goes from complaining about being consistently harassed to saying that the internet is based on consistently harassing people. Intolerance, not respecting bad opinions, and not a form of harassment, retard. That's what DS said.
I wanna watch ASP play a wrestling game.
I don't have any wrestling games on my computer.
This. I can verify that a lot of the people you do this to don't even harass you. They just talk negatively about you. Yeah, it hurts to see people say negative things about you, but unless they're in your face and being a dick about it, you gotta just suck it up. It's the internet, and you cannot go around strong-arming people like this when they're doing literally nothing wrong. This post is from a fucking year ago, you absolute baby. Why are you grilling this person over something they said about you on Twitter?
I think he just likes grilling people just for the sake of grilling. What do you think? I think anybody that has any kind of mentality of just, you know, hurting people like that, just because they can, one, they're just insufferable.
Oh no. What should I do?
And don't worry about all the tabs on top too, because they are on the background for.
Father's ashes to not do this kind of stuff ever again. You deleted your channel because you kept doing this stuff. How is anyone supposed to believe that you've changed when this is what you do in your downtime? Heck, as I was making this video, he went.
You get it? He does this on his downtime.
Cut out.
Oh, I was trying to say, do you get it? That he just does this on his free time of harassing people. That is pitiful.
Then did it again to Crimson Mayhem, someone who many people in the cartoon community are likely familiar with.
Or it lagged for a moment.
Minding their own business, and then suddenly Anthro starts a fight. He tries to justify this by bringing up his issues with Crimson, like how in the past he failed to properly report an active child predator, which is absolutely something worth criticism. But ignoring the fact that this happened years ago and Crimson has long since acknowledged they f***ed up, this isn't criticism. This is just unhinged name-calling just because you have a grudge. He makes it very clear it has nothing to do with Crimson's actual mistakes and moral misjudgments, because he directly references one specific instance years back where Crimson lightly made fun of him for crashing out over The Simpsons on Twitter. And given he seems to be holding a grudge against everyone who made fun of him for his Simpsons tweets, why do you think he suddenly went after Crimson? Hell, this isn't even limited to Blue.
More like a simpleton is what I call it.
Channel, he is making posts about very specific people and putting them on blast in front of his audience. Granted, I recognize the person in question here, and them for a bunch of Twitter posts that have nothing to do with you, and on top of that, linking just by doing this, you have set this person up for harassment from your fans. And regardless of what they've said about you or done to you, why do you think this is a sane or morally justifiable thing to do? And don't act like you don't know what you're doing here. You've been playing this YouTube game far too long to feign ignorance and act like this wasn't a thinly veiled call to harass someone. People have been trying to tell you for years to either ignore these people or just lightly make fun of them and move on.
He has been told.
Yeah, and then my wife's making chicken as well.
Yum.
This is like the first time I ate today, so it feels good.
Yeah, especially after you throw up.
What kind of chicken is it?
Now your business. That's like asking a man how big their penis is. ASP, what do you eat for dinner every night?
Me? I just sit around and possibly sleep.
No, what do you eat for dinner?
Oh, that. For me, just snacks. Because I don't try to eat a whole lot.
Yeah.
I have a question. Does your mom encourage you to get out of the house?
Well, no, she doesn't ever ask me, but she does ask if I want to. There's a difference.
Yes, but when was the last time you left your house?
About a day ago. About a day or so ago.
Oh, okay.
Okay, where did you go and what did you do?
Shop. That's kind of what I normally do sometimes.
Okay.
So I do go out. It's just that like I don't do it every day. It's like no.
Do you exercise?
Not really. I stopped doing that after I got out of all my lifestyle college stuff for a whole year. Basically for special needs students at college courses and stuff, and I just simply stopped going. I didn't need any kind of exercise, even though I do walk around a little bit, run, but I don't do anything else.
Exercising is very important.
Well, for me, I don't see the point. I do sometimes stretch, but that's about all I do. I don't lift any heavy.
No, I'll tell you the point. ASP, the point is it's good for your heart.
Well, I try to not really do much of that. I try to slow down as much as possible.
No, dude, you need your heart to get good, man.
Well, it's not really affecting me right now, so there's no need to do anything.
We're gonna fix this.
Yeah.
trying to get your community to harass them is not going to do you any favors. Hi everyone, editing cartoon here.
This is
As I was
fixable.
finishing up this video, Anthro started responding to more people on the same thread this sledgehammer comment took place on, and when pressured on why he just told someone they should have their brains smashed out of a sledgehammer over an opinion on Star Wars, he proceeded to say that he wants to assault people who quote-unquote
Dude, you
think
feel
it's okay
so
for
much
Lucasfilm
like
to
it's not
fetishize
even
the
for
abuse between Rey
your
and
body.
Kylo. I
Working
think,
out is
regardless
also
of how
mental.
badly
Like you
Rise of
feel better.
Skywalker handled the romance between these two.
Last time. What? I was gonna say I don't feel any better when I exercise. I've done it before. Hate it.
I used to be like
That's
gotta
cursed.
keep on doing it. Like, bro, I think everyone should have a personal
Like-
trainer.
I just choose not to ever exercise, and
Call
it,
that. What?
I just simply don't have any reason to. Like, even if it does, like, okay, if it does some, doesn't do any
I work out
benefit,
every day.
I
No,
choose
well,
not
Working
to.
out has a benefit to your health.
I work out every day.
But this is probably one of the most insane things
You
this
do?
man has ever said. No
Yep.
one in this thread is making the
Nice.
claim
What do you
that
do?
it's
What do you
okay
do?
for Lucasfilm to fetishize abuse, ignoring that Rise of Skywalker was clearly not fetishizing abuse. It was just a really poorly written romance, and I highly doubt that fetishizing
What was
abuse
that?
is one of the main
Yeah.
things people take away from this movie,
Oh,
regardless of how
someone
valid
got
the
me
critique
a,
itself is. Openly saying you want to assault
exercise,
anyone who doesn't consider Star Wars to be abusive is a
thing, and
fucking
I
wild take to have, and
use
this
it
makes the
every day.
previous sledgehammer comment a
proud of
lot worse. When Anthro makes these kinds of thinly veiled threats against people with
He's
these
amazing.
incredibly violent scenarios, his main defense is always that he's not directly saying he'll be the one committing the
What is
violence,
it? An
just that
exercise
he
bike?
wishes it would happen to the person
Yeah.
he's talking to.
Oh, good.
Julius, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I used to be like, I'm never going to the gym, but like, since working out, like, I feel better.
Good.
That's you, it's not
I
me.
always feel like, what the hell is going on?
It's the seal.
This
What I-
admission of wanting to assault people over a Star Wars opinion, though, is a whole different story.
Yeah.
Put a new one in.
And makes the sledgehammer comment even more unhinged in
Yeah.
retrospect. Just thought I'd add this on here.
Like,
before
That's
we
what I think
continue,
it
because
was,
no way was I going to pass up the
Yeah,
opportunity
I had to
to
put it
investigate
like an
to straight up
actual
wants to
one
assault
with
people over their
legitimate
thoughts on
rules.
Star Wars. I
They
guess we
all
can now jump into
get it.
Anthro's video.
And then leave.
Just a
Most
robot.
One of the most cursed things I've ever seen.
What? What's cursed?
You know, in a long
On my
time,
screen.
Lard. It's lard.
Yep.
Where is it?
I don't know, but the last day he was here, he was trying to say something, then Kettle told him to shut up or something, and he never came back.
I don't think it's alive.
No, I'm just saying that's the last time I remember him here.
How long was that?
Let's see.
A few days ago, a week, a month, something like that?
March 3rd.
So not too long ago, just a couple of days ago.
No, that was like almost 3 weeks ago.
Man, 3 weeks, almost a month.
Yep.
What was he getting so mad about and then just left?
I don't know, but his account says inactive
Oh.
on it. Zlarb.
What?
He changed it to inactive, and then I texted him on Instagram, and he said he's taking another break.
Well,
I feel like he's always on break.
Yeah.
how many times do people do this kind of stuff where they give themselves a break and every time they say so, they don't really do it?
Well, he's done it for like almost a month now. So.
At least somebody's doing something about that. But because I'm just saying that because when I hear people that say they take a break from the internet, they don't really do it. I'm being honest with
You
that.
love to talk, Phil. AFP, I noticed you love to talk.
Oh, I love to talk when I'm just doing subjects on stuff. And when I'm around people, I'm fine with talking, but when it comes to different things I'm into, I'll do so.
Yeah.
Well, even though I consider myself an introvert, which is both of them, introvert, extrovert, I can deal with people, but most of the time it's either way.
Yeah.
It's just how I am. It's like, I think I said this to a couple of times, I'm fine with talking to people, but if there's a big group of people, I might, if it's more than 5, then possibly more than 10, then I'll have to just wait it out. Because it's like, I've been in situations where I had to just dip out because, like, well, I don't have the energy for it.
Right.
Most of the time, if I don't feel like I want to, put my energy into something, I'm just going to do, I'm going to just go do something else. I'm going to do painting, and I'm not going to really interact with anybody for a little bit. And I do that. I do that sometimes when I'm only in my introvert side, which is basically isolation.
Yeah.
But when I have to be into a situation like that where I have to be around people, let's say if I'm in here, then I have to put, let's say, an extroverted kind of persona or some kind of, part of me, just like in a game. Because that's just how I'm supposed to do so. I'm supposed to blend in. Like a chameleon or something like that.
Do you... I don't even know how to ask this, but do you speak to anyone outside the internet? Other than your mom and dad?
Well, I do speak to some of my neighbors sometimes when they ask me something. But I don't really talk to them because not all my neighbors want to basically talk to me just because.
Like, I'll be honest, most of my friends are just Discord, because after work, I'm tired. I don't want to go out with nobody,
Yeah,
but
I feel that.
you don't work, and you don't talk to coworkers. You don't have coworkers. You don't like experience daily life like the rest. So it's just interesting.
Well, for me, I just simply enjoy the idea of, like, either way, I can just be at home and not having to, well, for me, if I even have coworkers, I only talk to I think I did that during my internship a year or so ago, and I just simply just stop. If I ever was working, I want to just not interact with anybody that's coworkers. They're not really my friends. They're there to work, not for people. That's what I see it as. Like, I love it. You can have people that are coworkers that are friends, but I choose to be by myself. That's just how it is.
Right.
I'm the lone wolf. I don't like the idea of always having friends. Like, I might have a small circle of people, but that doesn't mean I can make new friends. It just means I don't really trust certain people. And the one thing that really hurt me a long time ago when I was doing all the drama with other people and outside of that is because people basically lost the trust of me. I lost trust with them because I couldn't get on anyone's side because that's how hard it was. So a lot of people betrayed me, backstabbed me, hurt my friends. They did, but what?
What did they do?
All of my friends accused me of things when I didn't do them. Association, basically, is what it is. Association.
What was the accusation?
I think I said a while back that people accused me because I associated with Dark Hair and Sparkle Cake. That was one of the big reasons. I lost a good chunk of people from that because I was just trying to, I was not really doing much of anything. At one point in time, I was his defender. His White Knight.
Who?
Dark Hair and Sparkle Cake 99. That's his name.
What did he do?
He was a raging pedophile that always basically said that he didn't do anything wrong, and he did do things wrong. And after all that, that was about 5 years ago. Technically, the last time I talked with him was back in 2022. And I basically exiled him, basically. I just simply stopped ever interacting with him, and we have never talked since for almost 3 years.
Yeah.
And basically one of the biggest mistrusts I had with him is that he never gave me the truth of why he did stuff. So after I decided to basically skip out, all of my friends I had before after that, isolation. Every person basically just started blocking, isolation, put me on the side, and even though I was not really doing anything after that, I just simply stopped talking to everyone because I told myself, who gives a damn if basically they really want to talk to me anymore just because they backstabbed me. And oh man, I basically, like, most of the time, and I said,
you're defending a pedophile, so they blocked you. That's not really backstabbing.
well, he never told me, that's the thing, for a while. I never asked him.
But the other people told you.
They did told me. And it took me a couple of months to see if he would at all admit, and after that, he basically got scolded to the point where he basically got ridiculed and isolated. And he's also from Serbia also.
Oh no.
He's one of those type of angry pedophiles.
What?
He was
Serbian.
he just him alone, he was psychotic. He never really showed that until much later on, and then after that, my friendship with him basically dwindled to basically nothing. Period. And all the other friends I had after that, they basically just left me in the dirt, and I just simply left them. And I never had really much of any trust of anybody after that. And for me, trust is a very gradual thing. And after that, I decided to start being paranoid about trusting people.
It seems like they left you, though, because they thought you were defending a pedophile.
Yeah.
So, they didn't leave you. Like, it's not, they didn't do anything wrong.
Hey, Wetfire is here.
Yeah, and basically, after that, I just simply stopped, being friends with certain people. And after that, I got better at it. And after a little while, I decided, I think from 2023 onward, I basically had a very brief moment of not really having anybody to really interact with. So I just said, you know what, no more friends for a while.
Yep.
And even though I mostly isolated myself, which I did, and a lot of my friends told me I shouldn't be doing that, because even though I'm okay with it, like, there's no reason to get mad about people for isolation and staying out of the public eye. That's just something I do sometimes.
Yeah.
And during that time, I was still in my college courses for, like, just getting everyday life stuff done for about a year and a half after that. And then after all that happened, I basically stopped. I did talk to my friends a little bit from that, and after that, I just simply just said, you know what, I need to move on. Just basically move on from all the people I had before. And even though you can outgrow your friends, that is true, you can do that. But you still have to be friends with them somewhat, people in real life. And then and after that, I basically kind of slowly came back after that, like after 2024, and after giving myself right now a year break since I graduated, and I've been doing pretty good at it. It gets to a point where, since I was in school since 2004, that's how long I did, and all the way until I was in high school in 2019, right before COVID. And for COVID, for 2.5 years, I basically was trying to be friends with people, my classmates, my peers. And then after I kind of decided on the fact what I should do with myself, I basically decided I'm going to take a break from ever socializing with people that I don't know. Like, I have friends, it's just that I don't really always have the steps to really, see fit into doing so. And for me, I just enjoy, like, whenever I'm doing art, I'm fine with doing it without anybody around. And it's fine. And just like all these other people and stuff, like, I see people that are interesting, and I stick with people that I know that seem like they're somewhat okay or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's just...
Alright, I'm a shower. Listen, ASP, I'm a shower, and we'll reconvene in 10.
Okay.
Alright, this is the break session.
What?
But that's kind of where I fit into. So now you see how I feel about stuff and how people treat others. And to me, people that are disgusting human beings that like little Pip and stuff, like I can tell you right now that even though I hate him in a certain way what he does, the thing is, there's a difference between I don't like you, I hate you, I loathe you. There's a difference in that. Like, little Pip, the only reason why I don't like him is because of the actions he does. I don't hate him as a person, I hate him what he does. It's that simple. And for me, as somebody who wants friends, and every time that I see people in real life, and I'm like, the thing is, the trouble doesn't, I don't find trouble. Trouble finds me. And that's the problem. That's the problem, is that so many people attract me because of personality, because of interest, based on whatever the reason. And it gets to a point where I'm kind of questioning, second guessing on what I do, and that's a self-destructive behavior. And I had that problem for a while, where all these bad people, and the reason why I have to watch so many things about people's action is just to understand people, like why people do certain things. Like, it's just not, it's never a why, or like say just give her so just a yes, because you gotta always question people all the time. It doesn't matter if it's like a small thing or a big thing. You always ask questions, and I know it gets annoying with people, but that's what I do. It's just like Just a Robot, Miss Anthro, Log Convoy, Cindy Bear. I can name as many people in the world there is when it comes to drama. It's just really disgusting people that just need to learn to just stop.
Yeah.
Like, you get what I mean. Like, see, these kind of people just don't stop.
Yes, a robot.
Nope.
Even Just a Robot. This son of a, you know what? I'm gonna just say son of a bitch, basically. And that's what exactly these people are. And
yep.
Like, I look at it from a analytical lens. I don't look at it as like, oh, these are just people that are doing something bad. No, these people are bad. They're not good people. They have friends they hang out with that are just rude in general. Mr. Anthro is no different.
Yeah.
And for me, like, I might show some emotional restraint and stuff, but I just see people so annoying when it comes to people, and I've already learned most of my lesson with hanging out with certain people, and I just simply, like, you're not supposed to completely isolate yourself. I know that. But some people, that's the only way for them to recharge, is to stay out of the public. Stay away from people they don't know, stay away from strangers, stay away from everybody. And
yep.
For little Pip, it's different. He doesn't even do anything else besides, because I just feel like I've already said that he's an incel. Straight up. And for me, I don't see myself as that. I do other things. Like, when I put my time into something, I'm not just there wasting your time. I'm just trying to, like, see what's going on in life, you know, like, the thing about life experience, and the reason I don't want to experience anything is because I want to keep everything the way it is. I want everything to be the way I want it, because I want control. That's the problem. And I don't like nothing out of control, because that's not my thing. There's no benefit out of it. And at the same time, and when I was in my classes, I did experience some stuff, but at the same time experience, to me, I think I kind of stopped. Because I don't want any new experiences, because I don't know how to feel about them. And people are supposed to experience new things, but for me, I look at it as like, okay, I can do something like this, but I don't want to.
Yeah.
And it's my choice to do so. And a lot of people say that's you. And the thing is, people do suggestions. They suggest things. But going back to Just a Robot, yes, this person is complete shit.
Video talking about his return to YouTube with all this context in mind, and afterwards we'll finally discuss what he's been saying about me recently, and why I think it might just be the most embarrassing set of tantrums I've seen a 32-year-old man have about someone over a decade younger than him I have ever seen.
I have had something of a reputation of being critical of horrible movies, TV shows, and video games in ways that the Twitter crowd finds offensive, as I am
Let me check
something. My analysis
Somebody's pinging me.
This to the ire of people like this guy who thinks the internet should be an open-minded place where everyone is accepted and respected for their opinions and the media they like regardless of how wrong they are, while at the same time having fits of rage towards people who criticize disposable Hollywood garbage he happened to like, such as Disney's Star Wars or Rings of Power.
I genuinely don't know how anyone watched this video and came to the conclusion that Anthro had changed. Under a minute into this video and he is already choosing to put some actual f***ing nobody on screen, who I am going to assume has had beef with Anthro in the past or said something negative about him, putting his face front and center and then flashing up a bunch of screenshots of him, I don't know, being a dick on Twitter. Who cares about this? Why do you feel the need to go on a rant about this random guy? No one cares. What is the point of putting them on blast like this? Just ignore them. If your intent with this video is to convince people you're sorry for your past actions, you're not doing a very good job at that.
My videos, as well as my old Twitter account, attracted the ire of people who don't like being told that something is objectively bad or how they're stupid for having horrible opinions.
Anthro, this right here is why so many people take issue with you. You fundamentally do not understand or respect anyone who has a different opinion to you. It's very visible in your comments as well. I went over every single video you have uploaded on your new channel and counted multiple instances under each video where you completely crash out on people for no justified reason. Either they simply disagreed with you or you had a small argument with them. There are obviously instances where you're being antagonized, but the sheer number of times you tear into someone for either politely disagreeing with you or having a small argument with you.
Give me a moment, somebody is trying to... Give me a moment here.
Right back after this commercial break.
Mm-hmm. Give me a moment here.
Yep. I subscribe to ASP's YouTube channel.
Yeah, I'm a completely different person. It's I'm in a partnership with Queen Derby.
Oh, let me call them real quick. There we go.
You there?
I'm right here.
Yeah, I'm a complete. I thought you. I was like, no, I'm not Pip. I fucking hate Pip. But like, other than that, no.
Yeah. So what's your story?
Oh, he took a friend away from me, that's all.
Oh man.
He took a friend away with this guy named Wolfie. I feel like that hurt me a lot. She was close to me and she took her away from me, so.
God damn.
I'm pissed off, but it's fine. I'm not gonna talk about it because it just hurts.
Mm-hmm. And you know, right now I'm talking about a person by name Miss Anthro. You know who that is, right?
Who?
Miss Anthro.
Miss Anthro. I've heard of her. Hold up.
You should know this because they are well known for being rage baiters.
Oh, that person? Oh shit, she is.
And it's a he. His name is Christopher Thomas Diaz.
Yeah, he looks like a horrible person.
Oh, he is. He, from my point, from what I can tell you, these people are disgusting. These people are just insufferable people. And like you said about Little Pip, I will agree that he has taken people's friends away just because of his little manipulation tactics. And
so you're like basically like telling You're like basically saying Pip is like him, sort of.
Not like Miss Anthroponi, but a little bit different, because he tries to be very confident about what he talks about. He's Polish, and I can tell you from bottom of my heart that he tries to be very confident about what he says and talk, and he doesn't know how to spell stuff correctly. I have the same problem, but not really.
Yeah, same. I have the same problem with the typing part, not the...
Yeah, it's just, to me, Little Pip just burns bridges is what he does. There are people out there, like, for instance, when everything was happening with Queen Derpy Hooves and all my other friends, all the other people were pointing fingers at them just because they can. And people that are this rude and this disgusting, and these kind of people just exist for a reason. These people just exist just to make life hell. And just like for Little Pip, he doesn't experience life. He just stays at home. Like, even though I stay at home, at least I go outside and go do something.
My honest opinion, those guys are horrible. Not gonna lie.
Well, at the same time, even though I kind of have, like, my own moral and morality kind of thing where I don't really know where I fit on, because even though I have friends, I try not to be bad or at the same time good, but neutrality is a problem that I have because I can't really decide on what people's intentions are. That's another thing too.
I don't have any intentions with anyone. I'm just chill. I'm not here to cause shit.
Mm-hmm. And at least you're an Applejack fan, I can tell.
I'm a Cheerly/Applejack fan, so...
Oh, I'm reading some Brandon Waters. Apparently found out recently that one of Diaz's biggest offenders, who would constantly reply to people on YouTube and Twitter, was exposed for favoriting and questioning fart fetish art on DA. Yes, that is very quite questionable. That is very questionable if Diaz has friends that are like that.
I do recall someone that I remember calling Pip and his server. He had NSFW in it at one point.
I think at one point in time, Little Pip and I were both discussing about fetish stuff, but I don't want to go into that. But at the same time, what I found out with is that Little Pip, his own mother, went onto his own phone, told him to go outside and walk, and basically found out that he has a problem with favoring child porn art of the Bart system. Bart and also the characters from The Simpsons as children. Little Pip's own mother found out that he had child porn on his phone, cartoon child porn, CP. And
shit.
It's disgusting that people just don't understand that these kind of people are despicable. They're very despicable people. Like, I want friends. Like, the thing is, I don't know how on earth Miss Anthroponi can get away with things when, like this person said already too. Yeah. Someone called Super started in 2002. The only video related to it and uses a text-to-speech voice. Yeah. That is despicable. That is really, really despicable if they're just using a text-to-speech stuff. And I'm going to be honest, if somebody uses text-to-speech, you're not being... Some people just are so afraid of using their voice. It's disgusting.
Hold up. Friend wants to talk to me real quick.
Oh, man. Okay. I can deafen real quick and I can go on the stuff. Yes, Miss Anthroponi has people that always get defended. People that defend Miss Anthropony, and I'm going to be honest with this because I've tried to cover this topic before with with this subject. It is I had to wait months, almost 5 years for them to make anything on him. And no joke that Miss Anthropony at one point in time were friends at one point in time with Toons. That is despicable. He also had other friends that he was with, and defenders, whatnots, you name it, that are disgusting as anything. And look at this. Look at all of this right here.
Is mind-blowing. Like, just read this for a second. This person, while being a tad rude to you, did not deserve...
Look at this, Dion Station 1992. Meanwhile, every single one of them does have faithful to the stories and material, and also from the made of Sonic movies. And yes, Transformers movies are very good as well, but again, the box office numbers show that people love them. Stop being a Disney hater and use your brain. Disney having nearly 100% live action remakes that speaks to how they are, show less. And Diaz says to them, "You are a disgusting retard. You deserve every bad thing that ever happened to you." Night Shadow Melons. And then the last Airbend could have made over $2 billion out of his office if they was still to be too horrendous movie. He complains about terrible movies. He complains about everything.
Of you suddenly swinging around in anger and saying, "You are disgusting. You deserve every bad thing that's ever happened to you." Like, holy shit, they wrote a dumb YouTube comment. You don't need to...
You didn't need to go after them. Like, seriously. Oh. There we go.
I was like, I couldn't hear anything. Like, you can undeafen now. I didn't realize you were deafened at all.
I was trying to be sure that you were gonna come back after you talked to your friend. Oh man. So, what other things can you tell me about Little Pet that you know of, that besides him taking away one of your friends?
At one point in his server with Wander and the others, right? When back then he used to have an NSFW channel where this guy was role playing with my friend Twilight, known as Sonic Scourge, whatever you call him, and Scourge didn't like that and he played along with it, but this guy was still role playing and he was uncomfortable, so some drama happened with it, and then that was it.
It sounds like they basically knew that they were going to get in trouble, but kept going.
I'm pretty sure, yeah, I'm not sure. It was a long time ago, I don't remember.
Yeah, people that are like this, that roleplay, and I did ask some people around, some of my friends on a different server, I asked them around about it. Same thing, I don't even know if Miss Anthropony, for instance, I don't even know if they had all roleplayed with anybody that was disgusting, because here's the thing, Miss Anthropony at one point in time was also one of those very outspoken people at one time, but after a while he became an asshole. And the thing about people like him shouldn't be acting like this. And at the same time, I think people that are this toxic, very confrontational, that's a problem. But when it comes to Little Pip, he is not really confrontational. He basically has tried to do, has done that to me. He tried to confront me because I told him to do it himself. It is up to him to make that decision, not me. But
he explains other people. Also, I was banned from his server apparently because I got hacked at one point, and I haven't got hacked in a very long time.
I've only ever been hacked only once in my entire 7 years on Discord, if not more.
I need to, like, I hacked back into it multiple times. It's just I'm tired of this goddamn troll like hacking my account sometimes.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back. Yeah, with Brandon Waters and stuff. Yeah, I would understand why some people would use text-to-speech. But going back to Miss Anthroponi, yeah, I'm gonna continue the rest. And why I'm at it too, I'm going to share the video too, because context will be misinterpreted if I don't do so.
Of course, this is a common occurrence. You just cannot accept that some people like a movie or TV show or video game that you don't like or think is objectively bad. Liking something is not a crime, and the way you...
Liking is not a crime. Liking is just something like, for instance, you like Malapony. I like Malapony, right? Somebody shouldn't do that. Just because you like something doesn't mean you should hate them.
Treat people over this as honestly pathetic, and your obsession with calling people is incredibly interesting, actually. Alright, buckle up everybody, let's go on a tangent about the concept of ableism. Now, my problem isn't necessarily that Anthro does ableist shit, like, wow, fork found in kitchen. It's the fact that he just refuses to own it and constantly has to justify his usage of the R word like a quivering pussy. Anthro really likes using the word for some reason. It's a concept, actually. Using it angrily and insultingly against people who are either being dicks towards him or people who have quite literally done nothing wrong. And I don't want to police him too bad for using the word, because number one, he's on the spectrum himself, and number two, back
Honestly,
when I was a teenager, I also used the word.
Yeah, he's on the spectrum too, so I don't know. Like, I'm on the spectrum too, doesn't mean I can use it, it just means I don't care, because I try to act somewhat normal.
A couple times in a joking manner. In fact, you'd be hard-pressed to find a YouTuber that hasn't. It's something I've done a good job of removing from my vocabulary because I don't like making people uncomfortable when they watch my videos for whatever reason they have, but that's besides the point. Anthro is not unique for saying the R word. He is unique for using it like a slur, though. I think there does need to be an honest conversation here about Anthro's insistence
Oh, ableism has been a thing for a long time. A long time.
Is not ableist, and the word itself is not a slur, because to be frank, it's bullshit, it's just wrong. While it's true that the word is a medical term, it doesn't change the fact that it was turned into a slur to target disabled people or people on the autism spectrum, and it's been that way for decades. Any word can become a slur for a specific group of people if it's taken and then used as one on a massive scale. It doesn't mean the word should never be used again in its original context divorced from the hate, it just means you shouldn't use the word like a slur. Just because I can say Joey Deacon's name doesn't mean I'm using his name as a slur for people with cerebral palsy, because yes, that is a thing, it's more a UK thing than a US thing, but it's still related. Lots of people can relate to being called based on them being disabled or autistic while as a kid in school or during adulthood. It's true that people also like to use it as just a general insult to people who say something stupid, especially online, which is evidently not the same as using the word to target disabled or autistic people, though it is its own can of worms. But given Anthro...
Oh yeah, it is a whole can of worms I'm not gonna open because it goes much farther than that. Wouldn't you think?
Alright, I'll roast for this guy. Okay, ready?
Autists are calling things autistic as
I'm gonna
an
write
insult
this
whenever he doesn't
down
feel
right
like
now
using
for
it.
you.
Oh, little Pete Orchard. Oh my god, that person made basically a Lily Orchard basically made a pro-pedophile fanfic.
I'm gonna roast him real quick, hold up. Let me type this out.
I want to hear it.
You look like the human version of a 404 error page. Nobody that was looking at for you, and even if you were there, it's fucking stutter, bro. I'm not mad, but like when I'm mad, I could just roast so bad. But anyways, I'll just type this out for you.
Okay. Okay, I love it. I just love it when people have to say something about him because nobody.
You build like a walking L, bro. Every time your fucking forehead hits a wall, it fucking extends forward, bro. I see that shit all the way to your mom's house, bro. You're probably so fat, even your mom gets scared of you.
You know, he's also a twink, right? He's not even fat.
Oh, a twink? Bro, you're so skinny, even fucking Slenderman got scared of you, bro. He ran away because your fucking forehead was so big.
He's a twink. I know he's a twink because he's so
I'm a black,
R-word. I
bro.
don't
I'm
think
black.
calling
Ready? But you look like a walking 404 error, bro. Every time you look at a page, it just deletes itself because of how ugly you are. Bro, you summon a bitch. Go suck a dick with a smile. And okay, that's it. I can't think of anything else. Let me write this down though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was reading. Yeah. Tweet wasn't even the best comparison. Not even his own thought it was.
Bro, he's such a disappointment. Even his mother had divorce papers with her husband because of him.
You know he's not even married. He's still single. I know I'm single, but boy, I would love to see him try to get married with somebody. He possibly will get divorced in about a year. No wait.
I'm writing down this right now.
Okay.
I have a really good rest in my head. I just need to write it down.
Whatsoever. He also just blatantly makes up to defend his uses of the word, like claiming 4chan are the people that turned it into.
I just saw your
Yes, what's the source for that claim,
I'm
Mr.
up
Horse? I made it
quick.
up. Looking into it,
Okay.
his reasoning for all of this seems to be that if he's not allowed to say the R word, then you might as well ban the entire English vocabulary, and it's like...
pisses me off, that number.
No, dude, people just don't want you to call them a specific word
Just
over
prepare for, like, the rest of your life, bro.
They just don't
Trust.
want to be treated poorly for disagreeing with you. I don't think it ever crosses Anthro's mind that a lot of people taking offense to him calling them the R word might actually be on the spectrum themselves. Look, at the end of the day, mate, if you're gonna use the word, then use the word. No one's gonna stop you. But acting like a pussy and trying to justify why you use it when you know precisely why people don't want to be called it arguably makes you look even more lame than if you're just using it without giving a f what people think. TLDR, people have the right to criticize you for not accepting people's opinions.
Yes, people have the right to criticize you, even me. Anthropone, you should have known this the day you were born that you would be criticized.
And your reactions to people having different opinions to you are flat out embarrassing.
From false accusations of me being racist for criticizing the industry's actually racist practice of blackwashing white characters.
Okay, I'm not even gonna get into that one.
To lies about me being some sort of sexist for criticizing badly written characters that just happen to be strong, independent women.
This is a tweet from 2020. 5 years ago. Word of advice for you, stop name searching yourself. That's a tip to every content creator out there actually. Do not name search yourself, ever. It's a very bad habit. It's easy to fall into if you're not in the right frame of mind. It's an easy one to start when your channel starts blowing up.
Hey, I just saw your live flash before your eyes, and even asked for the refund. You look like a human version of a participation trophy. Nobody asked for you, but you are taking up space. Your personality is drier than a toast left out. But okay, I'm gonna write this out. I can't roast right now. I'm stuttering today.
I get it. I get you. You don't have to do it and stuff, but
usually I can pack out roast people, but like I can't today apparently because I'm stuttering a lot.
For me,
I wrote it down.
I tend to always have to be in a high stake. I was drinking me some energy drink. I'm drinking Bang, so I'm pretty.
Yeah, get an energy drink real quick. This might help.
Like you are going to be more vocal than the majority of people that do like you. That's just the fact of life, and it comes with the profession. Holding on to 5-year-old tweets like this is not normal.
Because earlier I was rapping so fast, so.
Why is a Trump supporter watching Simpsons not made for them? November 15, 2021! Almost 5.
Look at his fucking. I cannot roast, bro. For shit today.
I understand. I get you. I know how some people stutter and stuff. I do it sometimes.
Nah. Far right-wing Trump supporter
but like,
for talking about that one time
seriously?
Modern Simpsons tried shoving anti-Trump garbage.
Yeah, I don't normally stutter that much.
Hey yo, look, I just saw your live flash before your eyes and even asked for a refund. You look like a human version of a participation trophy. Nobody asked for you. But you're out taking up space. Your personality is drier than a toast left out of Sarah's eye, and your IQ is lower than your chances for.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm stuttering.
Yeah, I'm reading him. Zayd is no stars, John. No star.
I usually type it out because like I cannot roast. Usually, sometimes I stutter because. I was rapping really fast, and then I started stuttering after.
Silly abject fan. I was gonna say this. I would definitely say Star Wars is woke and progressive, and I'm going to say a hot take to it. There is diversity in Star Wars, regardless.
Let me go to your chat real quick and roast his ass, because I'll type this shit out.
Yeah, you can go to the chat on stream and do it and stuff.
Yeah, I'll just roast his ass.
Yeah, just to get a...
down our throats.
Already a lot to unpack here. Firstly, this tweet is from 2021. Stop holding on to these tweets for years on end. I'd understand it if it was the same guy and you were trying to make a point about how obsessed they are over you, but these are two different people. Secondly, this screenshot is a massive nothing burger, and also don't think I didn't notice the poor editing on this image to include the new username and handle of the person tweeting this. If you ever try to make the argument that you're not trying to get people harassed, why do you feel it's necessary to name and shame someone so aggressively that you have to manually attach their new username and handle to this 4-year-old image? What kind of message do you think that sends exactly? Thirdly, oh my god, this image is also from 20...
Yeah, and I'm still...
Oh, let me send all of it, hold up.
Yeah.
Let me send all of it.
2021, just move on.
And I swear I'm not kidding here, comparing me to that guy who killed millions of people because they didn't fit his vision of a
That is a big thing to say, that comparing to Hitler that killed so many people in the Holocaust. Like, dude, Andy reacts. You shouldn't compare him to that. Like, seriously.
perfect German empire over gatekeeping The Simpsons from the retards who think the show's corpse being milked for the last 25 years isn't a bad thing. To man-children trying to paint me as one of the worst people currently on the internet for saying Space Jam 2 is a bad movie. Honestly, let's just move on to the next part because if I was out one of them, we're gonna be here for the rest of the year.
And you can say it out loud if you want.
Oh, I will. Oh, I will. I'm not afraid to say so.
But this is like, I think of those in my head and write it down, then I don't say it at all. Sometimes I'll stutter because I rap fast in some songs.
Yeah.
And then I start stuttering.
Oh man, I highlighted it, so yeah. Toast left out and Sarah, and your IQ is lower than the chances of finding somebody actually who loves you. You're like Wi-Fi signal always unreliable. That is true. That is so true about him. It's like every time he's trying to make some kind of point, he's basically doing that.
Yeah, I usually write these out, especially when I'm like thinking of something. I wrote it out. I'm like, yeah, this is good.
Oh, I was just reading what one of my friend here is saying in Discord, reading it out loud. He wrote a diss track. That's what you did, right? A diss track. Yeah.
No, that's a roast.
Oh, a roast. It's funny because it's true. But going back to what I was saying, Miss Anthropony is insufferable.
I wish I could, once he's live, I should just roast his ass and say, like,
see what? I would have loved to see you try to roast him on Twitter and see how he reacts, because that would be the most hilarious thing possible to do.
Firstly, yes, the funny German man tweet is a completely unhinged thing to say about someone, but also it was posted in 2021. You need to stop holding on to the stuff for so long. The next few tweets you show are from people who are pretty understandably confused why you were angrily calling people idiots for liking modern Simpsons, and spending multiple tweets
I'll roast him on Twitter,
in
bro.
your own words,
do it.
See how the fuck he reacts. See if he makes a video out of. See if he makes a video or something, bro.
Does this seriously not seem like a massive overreaction?
Oh man, I'm gonna do it real quick. Diaz.
I'll add him and shit too. I can make a new Twitter because.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. With a small surge of people discovering my new channel,
Man. Oh man. I will come back to this in a little bit because I want to hear his points on some of these things, hot takes. But I'm gonna go back to what I was doing real quick, where I was at.
His entire channel rebrand and telling everyone that he's got his act together and he's
movies, TV shows, and video games in ways that the Twitter crowd finds offensive, as I am more objective and final in my analysis compared to most other reviewers. This drew the ire of people like this guy, who thinks the internet should be an open-minded place where everyone is accepted and respected for their opinions and the media they like regardless of how wrong they are, while at the same time having fits of rage towards people who criticize disposable.
Oh man, I just don't like ads on these videos, like seriously.
Well, Hollywood garbage he happened to like, such as Disney's Star Wars or Rings of Power.
I genuinely don't know how anyone wants to...
Oh, I was over here, like, give me a moment. I was over...
I'm at Adam on Twitter,
regardless
too.
of how valid the critique is. Only saying you want to assault anyone who doesn't consider Star Wars to be abusive is a f***ing wild take to have.
And by the way, give me a moment, I need to go to the restroom. Oh, yes.
What's his Twitter, bro?
Much better.
What's his Twitter? What's his Twitter, by the way? What?
You found it?
No, what's his Twitter?
Oh, give me a moment here. I think I have it here. Give me a moment. Only has the Blue Sky account. He doesn't have a Twitter, I don't think.
Blue Sky?
That's I'm gonna give it to you. There he is. 258 posts. There you go. Because I recognized the name. I'll come back. I'm gonna come back to this in a little while.
And this makes the previous Sledgehammer comment a lot worse. When Anthro makes these kinds of thinly veiled threats against people with these incredibly violent scenarios, his main defense is always that he's not directly saying he'll be the one committing the violence, just that he wishes it would happen to the person he's talking to. This admission of wanting to assault people over a Star Wars opinion, though, is a whole different story, and makes the Sledgehammer comment even more unhinged in retrospect. Just thought I'd add this on here before we continue, because no way was I gonna pass up the opportunity to mention that this man just straight up up wants to assault people over their thoughts in Star Wars. I guess we can now jump into Anthro's video talking about his return to YouTube with all this context in mind, and afterwards we'll finally discuss what he's been saying about me recently, and why I think it might just be the most embarrassing set of tantrums I've seen a 32-year-old man have about someone over a decade younger than him I have ever seen.
I have had something of a reputation of being critical of horrible movies, TV shows, and video games in ways that the Twitter crowd finds offensive, as I am more objective and final in my analysis compared to most other reviewers. This drew the ire of people like this guy who thinks the internet should be an open-minded place where
Film Geek of Doom, and I don't know if his face is uncensored in Anthro's video, but it's also public, but still feels gross to me. Steve Kid.
I have to go. I'll be back in a bit.
Okay.
everyone is accepted and respected for their opinions
call you
and the
back.
media they like.
Okay. Let me... Okay, I'm gonna just simply, end the call and just disconnect. Oh, I think I now know why on earth I can't find it. It's because of his Twitter being suspended on cutie offenders. I would not ever do that. If anyone ever does that to cuties, oh boy, you have a problem.
Regardless of how wrong they are, while at the same time having fits of rage towards people who criticize disposable Hollywood garbage he happened to like, such as Disney's Star Wars or Rings of Power.
I genuinely don't know how anyone watched this video and came to the conclusion that Anthro had changed. Under a minute into this video and he is already choosing to put some actual f***ing nobody on screen, who I am going to assume has had beef with Anthro in the past or said something negative about him, putting his face front and center and then flashing up a bunch of screenshots of him, I don't know, being a dick on Twitter. Who cares about this? Why do you feel the need to go on a rant about this random guy? No one cares. What is the point of putting them on blast like this? Just ignore them. If your intent with this video is to convince people you're sorry for your past actions, you're not doing a very good job at that.
My videos, as well as my old Twitter account, attracted the ire of people who don't like being told that something is objectively bad or how they're stupid for having horrible opinions.
Anthro, this right here is why so many people take issue with you. You fundamentally do not understand or respect anyone who has a different opinion to you. It's very visible in your comments as well. I went over every single video you have uploaded on your new channel and counted multiple instances under each video where you completely crash out on people for no justified reason. Either they simply disagreed with you or you had a small argument with them. There are obviously instances where you're being antagonized, but the sheer number of times you tear into someone for either politely disagreeing with you or having a small argument with you is mind-blowing. Like, just read this for a second. This person, while being a tad rude to you, did not deserve you suddenly swinging around in anger and saying, "You are."
You didn't deserve, like, I would definitely agree. You don't just swing at people just because you can. You can, but isn't that also showing your personality of being a total butt to everyone and not keeping your mouth shut for every couple of seconds?
Are disgusting. Deserves every bad thing that's ever happened to you. Like, holy shit, they wrote a dumb YouTube comment. You don't need to publicly crucify them, Mr. Horse. This is a common occurrence.
Oh man, he put... Okay, I would agree on that. He did crucify that poor soul. He gave them the 1-2 of the big huge sledgehammer on the hands and did it. Yeah. Like, yeah, I don't even like cuties. Who in their right mind likes a pedophile pro movie about kids doing dirty things, if not disgusting, pornographic things, and twerking in front of a man just because it's a French movie? It doesn't matter. Unless you are basically a hidden pedophile that likes this kind of disgusting stuff.
You just cannot accept that some people like a movie or TV show or video game that you don't like or think is objectively bad. Liking something is not a crime, and the way you treat people over this is honestly pathetic. And your obsession with calling people...
Yeah, it is so pathetic. It's so pathetic. It's depleting. And I'm choosing my words also, too, at the same time. So, he's very depleting, he's very defecating himself, and always pissing his pants for this. That's his entire memo.
This is incredibly interesting, actually. Alright, buckle up, everybody. Let's go on a tangent about the concept of ableism. Now, my problem isn't necessarily that Anthro does ableist shit, like, wow, fork found in kitchen. It's the fact that he just refuses.
Oh, I already went there. Let me move up a little bit.
He's on the spectrum himself. And number two, back when I was a teenager, I also used the word is not ableist, and the word itself is not a slur, because a group of people if it's taken and then used as one on a massive scale. It doesn't mean the word should never be used again in its original context divorced from the hate, it just means you shouldn't use the word like a slur. Just because I can say Joey Deacon's name doesn't mean I'm using it.
Yeah, I'm a little bit farther ahead. I just had to reiterate.
I don't think calling his usage of the word ableist is a stretch whatsoever. He also just blatantly makes up to defend his usage of the word, like claiming 4chan are the people that turned it into a slur. Yes, let's don't want you to call them a specific word over a disagreement about Star Wars. They literally just don't want to be treated poorly for disagreeing with you. I don't think it ever crosses Anthro's mind that a lot of people taking offense to him calling them the R word might actually be on the spectrum themselves. Look, at the end of the day, mate, if you're gonna use the word, then use the word. No one's gonna stop you. But acting like a pussy and trying to justify why you use it when you know precisely why people don't want to be called it arguably makes you look even more lame than if you're just using it without giving a f*** what people think. TLDR, people have the right to criticize you for not accepting people's opinions, and your reactions to people having different opinions to you are flat embarrassing.
From false accusations of me being racist for criticizing the industry's actually racist practice of blackwashing white characters.
Okay, I'm not even gonna get into that one.
To lies about me being some sort of sexist for criticizing badly written characters that just happen to be strong, independent women.
This is a tweet from 2020. 5 years ago. Word of advice for you, stop name searching yourself. That's a tip to every content creator out there, actually. Do not name search yourself, ever. It's a very bad habit, and it's easy to fall into if you're not in the right frame of...
I'm gonna also say this too. I have done name searching before, and I can do it because I can, and I'm aware of people saying things about me, but I don't respond. I'm just off to the side, ignoring them. But I also listen to people, and then ignore them after. And thanks to anybody that's listening on and my perspective on this.
But don't do it. People who don't like you are going to be more vocal than the majority of people that do like you. That's just a fact of life, and it comes with the profession. Holding on to 5-year-old tweets like this is not normal.
To lies about me being a far right-wing Trump supporter for talking about that one-time modern
burger, and also don't think I didn't notice the poor editing on this image to
who killed millions of people because they didn't.
Let's analyze that entire rant very slowly, because that was a lot to just dump at once. Firstly, yes, the funny German man tweet is a completely unhinged thing to say about someone, but also it was posted in 2021, you need to stop holding on to this stuff for so long. The next few tweets you show are from people who are pretty understandably confused why you were angrily calling people idiots for liking Modern Simpsons, and spending multiple tweets tweaking out over it. In your own words, Simpsons or not, coming in to crash in everyone's parade like that is just super lame. Like, I think Modern Simpsons is a 2-pack of ass, and I feel bad that these guys have to be exposed to whatever this nervous breakdown of yours was. Everyone turning this into a copy pasta isn't them harassing you. It's them making fun of you for completely making an ass of yourself.
You know what's funny? That copy pasta thing? It's like copy pasta. Copy pasta. I'm butchering it. Copy paste, creepy pasta, creepy pasta. It's not pasta, it's pista.
Having the assessment of you not being able to accept differing opinions is not a stretch here, because that's literally what happened. You didn't accept some people like Modern Simpsons.
And get over it. Like, I get it. I'm not a Simpsons fan, but I do listen to people that are on both sides, and I don't really take one stance. And it's really up to you to really make that decision.
Jumped onto a thread that no one invited you to, proceeded to insult everyone there, and go on a massive rant. If you're mad that people made fun of you for that, then sorry dude, but your skin is paper thin. And also—
No, it is so thin. What can be the thinnest thing in the world? Brittle. You know what? I'm gonna ask my AI thing here. So, hey AI, what might be the best kind of thing to describe somebody if they're so paper thin on not taking criticism? What would be thinner than paper if not thinner than anything?
Okay, so you're looking for a way to describe someone who can't handle criticism. You think paper thin is a little overused, and you want something even more extreme. Well, there are a few options. First, you could try something like eggshell. It gets across that same idea of being super fragile, but it has a different feel. Or, if you want to lean into something stronger, maybe glass, or even porcelain. These make it sound like the slightest bit of criticism could shatter them. If you're going for...
Yeah, there you go. His skin is so thin. It is the thin as glass, thin as an eggshell, and thinner than ice. And it's kind of really despicable that he's thin as ice.
Once again, this was years ago! This is not recent! What the fuck are you doing? Even the people in these screenshots who are being dicks, like the guy who directly tagged you just to insult you about your Space Jam video, are simply not worth the effort putting on blast like this. Responding to them by making fun of them is fine, but this is just not that. Because to be blunt, Nate, this makes you look so weak. Unless someone is spreading false, serious information about you or genuinely directly harassing you, do not put them on blast. The next example he uses is of a much more serious situation that happened with
Oh, this is a very old video. Oh man, that art piece.
Even involved death threats being sent to him, I think, so he clearly knows that this is an appropriate thing to make an example of and go, hey, this is not okay, can you...
You know, this reminds me of all the stuff with Pinkamania Die and Pie from Malo Pony because Dark Hero Brian Sparkle 899 or Spaceman 2050, he has an obsession with Pinkamania Die and Pie or Penis Cupcake Pinkamania, but she's also a freak.
Can you please not do this, thanks? I just don't know why beforehand all that was shown was 5-year-old Twitter screenshots of people at worst saying something mean about you.
Dealing with these people every time I criticize something was causing me a lot of stress, and that stress eventually...
Man, I feel so sorry for you, Brandon Waters. If he basically is harassing you... Oh god. Oh god, 5 years. That is a very long time. That is as long as during COVID.
Evolved into anger. I decided that I'm no longer going to tolerate the vile nonsense these people are doing to me because I didn't validate their feelings on some corporate product made by privileged Hollywood scum. I was putting together plans for a video talking about these people, but somewhere along the way I ended...
What? What the fuck? There's too many people in this folder. My god. I'm already halfway through this video, and I'm already 2 hours in.
Ended up going rogue, which led to me making...
And by the way, by the time I'm done with this, I'm moving over to playing TF2, so I can play with you guys if you guys want to join on and talk with me about stuff. The only way for me to really talk to anyone is through my phone.
Making a lot of horrible decisions.
Horrible decisions aside, you just really should not make that video, like, ever. There's a lot I can say about having a massive Google Drive dedicated to compiling screenshots of people saying mean things about you on Twitter. I know for a fact that many of the people listed in this image do not harass you, Anthro. At worst, they have said something mean about you publicly, and that's just not something you can say is comparable to...
Oh. So making a promise threat. Oh. Okay. That's pretty big.
People in this file that I know did harass you and do terrible things to you. Your problem is that you conflate people saying something mean about you while minding their own business with the people that genuinely do harass you, and that's just blatantly bad faith. You don't have to like these people or respect them, Anthro, but going out of your way to smear them by putting them on the same level as some truly vile and degenerate individuals who have absolutely done you wrong is a blatant misuse of your platform.
As a result, I made burner account after burner account after burner account after burner account. All sorts of alts on Twitter and DeviantArt created to lash out at the people who wanted to ruin my image as a reviewer because I made a negative review of something they like, or because I didn't fit their rhetoric on how random people on the internet should be treated for their opinions on dog shit.
Dude, every time you have a potentially valid point coming up, you proceed to smite it down with a self-righteous pity party. You seem to be expressing remorse for making tons of burners to harass and attack people talking negatively about you, but then tack on at the very end that these people deserve to be treated a certain way because of their opinions on quote-unquote dog shit. It completely throws away any kind of sincerity that might have been there, and you just end up looking like you're reluctantly giving these people an apology because deep down you still can't accept that they have a different opinion to you. I'm not saying that is the case, but it is how it
I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip most of this. I hate to do this, but this is again repetitive right here. It's just his combat is, let me just get to right here because I really want to move on and go watch some of the videos that people made on him.
way. But now that's over and done with, we can finally discuss the main reason I decided to finally make this video. Miss Anthro Pony's newfound obsession with walking back his guilt over what he did to me when I was a minor. Him constantly downplaying the severity of what he did to me by trying to argue that because I was 6 months off being 18 at the time, that it somehow made what he did less bad. And last but not least, my name now seemingly being a vocal stem for him because he literally cannot go 2 days without mentioning me just to insult me, lie about what happened in the first place, and heavily downplay the anxiety I was going through when I was 17. I didn't want to make this video because some weird grown-ass man made some mean comments about me. It's about what these comments represent and how they prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that this man has not changed and he is playing you all for fools. When he first began bringing me up, it was clear he was still somewhat worried about the optics of the situation given how hard it blew up in his face last time. The first few times he decides to mention me, he does it as carefully and respectfully as possible. Over time though, you can visibly see him getting angrier and angrier with how he chooses to address me, throwing in petty jabs, trying to downplay the severity of what he did and refusing to acknowledge that he was blackmailing a minor just because I was half a year off being 18, which is really gross, actually. That's really gross. That's really gross. Also, it wasn't 4 months, it was half a year. Stop trying to make yourself sound better. Like, what does this even mean? You think I was technically an adult because I had half a year to go before I turned 18? I was still a minor. You were 28. Why try and downplay what happened? I'm also very concerned with the fact that you proceed to copy-paste this exact argument multiple times whenever anyone asks you about the situation. It's very odd. The fact is, mate, that you threatened a minor on an alt account because they blocked you. Not to mention, this situation would still be bad even if I was 18. 18 makes you legally an adult, but humans don't just suddenly become fully grown and mature adults when they turn 18. That's not how it works. You would still be a 28-year-old man harassing and threatening someone who only recently turned 18. Regardless of how you try and downplay it, mate, you don't look good. And then he tries to rewrite history and say the reason I cut him off is because I can't handle online discourse or what he thinks about movies, as if 600,000 people haven't watched the original video.
Man, I watched that video when it first came out, and I'm like, and this is coming from somebody who has had pedophiles that try to basically say to blame me about stuff. I'm not, all the names of people and stuff is just retarded in a lot of ways, and I'm saying it because it is. Because these people think it's okay to basically get mad at me for telling them off that they're bad people, and they defame themselves to say that they are bad. Yes, they are bad people. There are bad people that are like this, that act like this. There are people out there that will do this stuff. And it's not acceptable. It is absolutely not acceptable by any means. And I am going to say it is not. And by the way, my blood can boil when people are like this. This is so unacceptable.
I know that the reason I blocked you was because you were a weird and angry adult who made me uncomfortable. people. What makes this funnier is that this is the exact same argument he used in his now deleted apology video that no one liked. Like, you think you can get away with saying this now? Also, a lot of my videos are about covering online discourse anyway, so like, why are you lying? And by today, we're at the point where he has completely gone mask off of any sort of guilt or remorse he had, and seems completely comfortable just saying whatever he wants about me because no one gives enough of a shit to call him out on it. Which is completely valid, by the way. I almost didn't make this video until I saw all the stuff he was doing off-platform in conjunction with this, but it really shows how spineless he actually is and how he never meant a single word of any apology he tried to give for how he acted. Like, it's so obvious that he believed he was stepping on eggshells just uttering my name to begin with, and then over time started gradually taking his mask off and showing his true colors. It also goes to show just how pathetic it is that the only person he was scared of and who kept him in check was Lio f***ing Convoy. Like, don't get me...
You shouldn't be afraid of him. He's also a freak himself. A Bible-thumping Catholic is what I would call it. Disgusting.
Wrong. I still have some respect for Lio for the things he helped me out with, but the fact that this 30-year-old man had to be...
And also, Lio Convoy is also almost 40, so keep in mind that with the mentality of both of them.
Wrangled in by Lio so he didn't act impulsively and blow up his career every 5 seconds is delightfully stupid.
Oh, that is an understatement, my dude. That is a total understatement to what he is.
Even mad he said all of this stuff. Someone let me know he was doing this like a month or two ago and I just found it funny. But it's the fact he keeps doubling down.
Sigh, he's back. He says he doesn't care about cartoonish and douchey's anxiety. He has harshly spoken out to cartoonish. This guy is unbelievable. Highlight reply. Where did he say it exactly? It's getting a little hilarious if true. Yeah.
He was doing this like a month or two ago and I just found it funny. But it's the fact he keeps doubling down and being a complete hypocrite, trying to convince his fans that he's a changed man and everything is going to be different now, while continuing to engage in completely rotten behavior on and off platform in the public eye. It's just confusing to me, like, why are you doing any of this? Surely when you made your channel, you had to just accept that the damage was done, right? You can't just undo all of what you did. I mean, for God's sake, your real life name is attached to all of this. No one's just gonna let you forget.
By the way, that's his last name. That's his last name that he uses. And here's my thing. I never try to put my name out there. The only people I ever give my name are my parents or close friends. And nobody should ever, from any reason, do that. Like, I'm gonna tell you right now, his name is gonna be Christian Thomason Diaz.
So why take the route of trying to convince people you've changed while doing the exact same thing you got dumpstered for in the first place, then getting pissy when people rightfully point out that you haven't changed a bit? The math...
You know what else I also can also go to? There he is. There he is. Right there. There's that man we have been all talking about. That is the definition of a twink. Average. And you know what else? This year he turned 33. I thought he was going to turn 34, but just a year off. But look at there. His name's right there. There's everything you need to know. 702 videos. Oh, you know what else? Color Lovely is an a-hole. A defender. You know what else? This is the thing that I use. Where is... Oh, here. You mean Kyle Crushshore? Or Kyle Wallay's Crushshore? Color Lovely's name's out there too, by the way. And, by the way, this is the document that I use to keep all of my things to myself normally, but I'm going to show you publicly on what document I use to keep up with everyone's names. And, yes, even Christopher Thomas's stuff is right here, too. And I know it's kind of bright at the moment because I forgot to turn on the dark mode.
What are you doing, dude? Look, at the end of the day, if Anthro wants to continue making YouTube videos, no one's gonna stop him. But I hope that if he does take anything from this video, because yes, Chris, I know you're watching, I hope he actually learns that film, TV, and video games are not worth this level of vitriol.
It's not worth it. I would agree. I would absolutely agree it's not worth the anger. I'm gonna have to tell everyone here. Lesson learned, don't trust anybody that has anger issues.
Nor is demonizing others for their opinions. If you're gonna continue making videos, Anthro, don't be a pussy. You can keep up the act of being the big, tough, anti-Hollywood guy who doesn't give a shit what people think all you want, but it's fooling nobody. Everyone knows you care too much about what others think of you, and it causes you to self-destruct. You've got a variety of...
Self-destruct. You know what? I need a video on that. Self-destruct. Oh man, that is funny. That is funny. I'll call allowed to bring people to sit into so they can debate over freaking Star Wars. I'm gonna say this right now. Don't ever trust the Senate people. Don't trust them. I don't even trust them.
Options here, none of which include changing your opinions and stuff, by the way. Don't worry, I truly do not care about that. Option 1, you keep doing what you're doing right now and eventually bark up the wrong tree like you're bound to do, which is not going to end well for you. Option 2, you adapt. Accept that what's done is done, stop giving people attention for completely minuscule things, and change the presentation of your content so that you don't have to make yourself angry reading every comment from people who understandably don't appreciate your tone. You can be negative, but you don't have to be angry or unpleasant. Option 3, find someone else who is willing to work with you and make videos for their channel like you were doing with...
Yeah, you don't have to go after somebody. Don't give Just a Robot a chance to do all that. And I'm gonna have to say, I don't want that to ever happen to anybody. And this is a big lesson to learn to anybody. If you're gonna be like this, stop yourself. Go outside and touch grass, which I do. When I'm not doing these videos, I'm touching grass. That's what I'm gonna do.
Jar. It's not ideal, but it's certainly better than whatever you're doing now. Option 4, close up shop, get off the internet, and keep having a good life away from all of this. You've already explained in great detail that whenever you seem to take a break from YouTube, your life dramatically improves. Don't force yourself to do something that makes you angry and miserable just because it's a creative outlet for you. Chocolate is cool, but chocolate is also unhealthy. Don't get addicted to chocolate. Well, lost cause for me, I bought this today, but you get what I mean. I know I've been a bit mean in this video, and to be frank, given the things you've been saying about...
You haven't been mean, Cartoon She. I will agree, you are being as nice as you can be and how firm I am. Well, technically you are, not me. I think you have done your best you can do with giving him the benefit of a doubt. But I'm going to also have to say this too. To stay away from him. Ignore him, ghost him, leave him alone.
About me and others, I could have been a lot meaner. But the last thing I want is to watch you self-destruct. Again. care for Liar's video or any of his advice, and to be completely honest, I don't blame you. But I hope you can understand that any advice I have given you in this video—
Wait a minute, I think I do remember this one. There's one video where Zayd breaks shit and screams in his room about brony community. Shocker, not being as tall and as loving as they claim to be. That is to blow up his meme. Yeah, I'm a brony myself. I'm a furry. I'm both. But I'm more of a brony, and I'm going to have to be honest. I'm more intolerant about this than he is. I'm going to be honest. I do some commentary stuff. I do my own kind of opinions about stuff. But I'm not like him. I'm not like Cartoon She. I'm not like Lyle Convoy. I'm not like anybody. I avoid all opinions that don't mean anything.
Those genuinely come from a sincere place. I'm not 17 anymore where I want absolutely nothing to do with you. Okay, I still don't want anything to do with you, but
yeah, you don't.
I'm not against the idea of giving you a way to actually get your life back on track. If you don't want to take my advice, then cool, fine.
Yeah. By the way, Cartoon She, he doesn't really care. He doesn't. He's just a grown-ass man that wants to scream and holler and whine and piss and shit and crap. And these are the same kind of people. And I'm going to be honest, I for one don't really ask for subscribers. I don't be like those kind of people. They're always completely reliant on the internet. Everyone's reliant on content creation. I'm not. I'm just using it as my creative outlet too. But I'm not like you. I'm not like anybody. I try to avoid trying to copy from people. Excuse me. Hiccup there.
I don't care. I'm too busy earning from that get-rich-quick scheme you've been talking.
Yeah. That is true. He is. All these YouTubers. I'm gonna have to be really honest here. When is YouTube going to go into these videos and say to stop giving people money? And I'm gonna be honest. There are people like this. It's disgusting.
Talking about, ooh, look how much money the Invincible video made me. Anyway, that's the end of the video. Play Yakuza or something. Hey, I'm already playing that game.
My God, that is for 2.5 hours. 2 hours, no wait, technically about 140 minutes. 150, 160. Yeah. And I haven't said anything on this, so give me a moment here. Oh my God. We are going to go to the most recent video that Convoy did about Zayd. And I'm only going to give my part this. I'm going to finish it off with this because this is 35 minutes. Okay, 35. It's going to be a little bit over 3 hours.
Miss Anthro, aka Zayd Magenta, now Diaz Station is a name that's going.
Sorry, and give me a moment here.
Familiar around this section of the internet. My history with him has been a long one, but essentially came to an end in September of 2023.
That was 2.5 years ago.
Before then, I was trying to help him grow and stop being a volatile individual, trying to get him to resolve conflicts with his loudest haters and mediated calls instead of going around and making threats on false accounts. However, even the best of plans and intentions can and will run foul when the person you're directed to has no desire to actually change, and instead is more interested in finding people and outlets that will allow them to do as they please without any actual accountability. This is, unfortunately, the case with Miss Anthro, whom I will be referring to as Diaz throughout the rest of the video, as that's his current moniker. After Sarah and that previous reading covered Diaz, he moved his channel completely and wasn't often seen in the public space. That changed last year, when just a robot decided to allow Diaz to make content to place on John's channel. personally think this decision was less altruistic and more related regarding the show's infamy and content to make money. But that's just my personal opinion on the matter. You can make your own determinations on that based on what we know. This all changed, of course, when Jaw released a video attempting to defend a predator named City Bear 3. This awful decision would lead to Diaz having Jaw remove his content and for Diaz to start a new YouTube channel in order to upload his own content. On this new channel, he uploaded a video talking about said new channel, and based on the content therein, to say I have no secrets as anybody can understand. In this video, Diaz shows not only a lack of understanding of why he would like the situation is in, but also demonstrates that he's likely going to be worse than before. Before I get into the video itself, I want to make it clear why I'm doing this video. While people know me from Cover Up Drama, specifically ones I want to talk about.
You were involved with a ton of drama. Log Convoy. Or Thomas Guerrera. Or Guerrilla. You were involved with the Tinkerett situation. You were involved with Roy, who is Queen Derpy Hoobs. You were also involved with other smaller creators and some people. And it goes on and on. I would be here for hours and I don't have that time to go through all of them. And also I had to deal with you the last time and I didn't like your attitude towards me. And by the way, he does have angry. I do remember when Law Convoy basically was angry at some of my friends. Some of the friends I had, which is technically Roy. And also, too, don't forget about FNGR, Anthony O'Gara, who's also older than him by 5 years. Oh, you have plenty of enemies. You have plenty of enemies. I have enemies myself. And I'm sorry to say that. There will always be enemies. I do not keep my enemies close. I basically scold them and go away. Because who needs enemies when you have people that can't do anything for you? Because, let me tell you something. Diaz. I'm not going to call you by your Zayd name. Because you are a pathetic human being that basically has done nothing but scold the earth with piss and shit. And I'm going to be really honest here. You're the most angriest person that has ever been on this earth. And I mean more angry than most of these pedophiles and defenders that people have tried to do so. You are a pathetic little man. You are so pathetic. Your picture looks like you're a disgusting human being. You're like a little rage incel is what I would call you. And I'm going to take the band off. You are an incel. Straight up. And I do not apologize for what I said. Because words hurt. Words don't hurt me because I use those words against other people. Words is nothing but a manipulated tactic. And I'm going to put down you like anything else. If I were to really tell you right now, Diaz, I don't feel sorry for anybody that you have ever got angry about. I don't feel sorry that people get on your feelings. Neither do I. And you are so pathetic. You're just like a raging dog that basically is on the verge of dying. And I'm going to have to tell you something. If I was in that case, if I had, let's say, a shotgun, for instance, and I'm going to be really, really, really real with you. If I see a dog that is in so much pain, that is on the verge of dying, what do? Like you being the pathetic dog you are, that wants to run, cry, and all that. Because I know how dogs are. I know how cats are when they get angry. And here's the thing. If I was in anybody's position, of any sort, like you pathetic human piece of garbage, that's how you are, I would basically take that shotgun and use it. Because you are so insufferable, I don't want to hear anything from you. That's how everyone feels about you. That's how painful it is to say how disgusting and how insufferable you are. I'd rather use that gun on that dog that's almost about to die so they can go to heaven. I'm not doing it just because I can, because I don't want to see them suffer. Diaz, you are as disgusting as most people would be when they're a pedophile. Pedophiles get angry. I'm not saying you are. You had friends that loved you, that showed you respect, and you just gave rid of them. Look at what our convoy had to went through. Look how disgusted he feels. I'm disgusted of anyone defending anyone. My parents, for instance, knows better. They will tell me what's up. And what does your father do? He's dead. He can't say anything to you. If your father was alive, Diaz, how would you think he'll be? He'd be angry. He'd be disappointed of his own son. And I'm not going to basically downplay it. I am not happy that you act like this. Look at all the people you had friends with, and you treated them like garbage. It hurts me that I'm online here getting angry at you and not being with you. And there are people in my chat right now that would say otherwise. You hurt people's feelings because you're a pathetic human. You can't apologize to anything because you're so ignorant to look at the fact that people have done you wrong. You get angry over the most smallest things. It is not going anywhere. And you have to put up with everyone on this rock. You're going to have to live with everybody you hate. I have to put up with people all the time. And I'm always second guessing why I don't hate myself more. And I shouldn't hate myself. But I'm going to listen to all of this. horrible opinions, DS, doesn't mean fit to you. Your ego is as big as most of these egotistical people on this planet. Your ego is too big to give you any kind of blindness. You're blind by just your own opinions. I can tell you right now, I feel the same way too sometimes. But I control my ego. I try not to let it control me. But you let it control you.
You helped attract them because you felt the need to respond to all of them regularly. As far as the supervillains are, you kind of earned that position with your little actions. Sending people DMs on multicams talking about how you hope they get cut down by the mob isn't exactly human behavior. This of course led to all sorts of targeted harassment from potentially tens of thousands of people from false accusations of being racist or misogynistic.
I need me to get me a cup of water here because I need to do so. And by the way, and I'm going to say this right now as somebody who says they are brave and they are able to do so, and I'm going to tell you this, I'm no coward. I am absolutely no coward for anything. But these kind of people are cowards, including Miss Anthro is a coward themselves. I think when people accuse you of doing that, Diaz, they're taking that up a father, all that.
Yes, your hardcore haters are awful and sometimes completely unhinged. This isn't an excuse or justification for your actions. This is the point of all of this. These people viciously attack the
Let me tell you something, Diaz. Those people have the right to go after you because of how a shitty human being you are. You should learn from your mistakes, and you don't.
Falcon Chaos was a one-off that you're painting as though was the norm. That's a situation I dealt with fully. These people that try to criticize something that's causing me a lot of stress, and that stress eventually involves attack. Obviously, I'm no longer going to tell you what nonsense these people are doing because I didn't validate their feelings on some of the product made by the child discussion. I was put together an expert video talking about these people while somewhere along the way I could ultimately make another article decisions.
I have already got through Carntucci. He's already told you to go F off. Because you already went after him just because he didn't do anything to you and spreading some about him. You impulsively said something you should have not said. That is on you. You threatened somebody's life because they told you to go somewhere else. People will criticize you no matter what. People criticize me all the time. Do it look like I care? No. Honestly, La Confoy doesn't care. He doesn't. He absolutely does not care what people say about him. He doesn't repeat this lie, though. He basically goes over and over and over again. It doesn't just go in a straight line. It goes in a complete circle. The circle of rage. The circle of constant anger. It's going to kill him. Do you see the point? Do you guys see the point in what I'm making here? People that are like this are going to go into a cycle of rage. What has rage has done to anybody? Hurt your loved ones. It hurts you, and it hurts other people. And it hurts me to say that it's going to kill him someday. And I'm saying this, it's going to eat him up. It's going to eat him up. And I have grudges too. But I've given up on those grudges. And I would never forgive people that have done to me. I remember that video being put out, and I think it was the most crappiest video I've seen anybody make. You should have formatted it a little bit different, Diaz. Terrible. You got my medicine?
Yep. That's what I'm bringing.
When I heard this, my heart broke. The audience
Here.
didn't notice, but he has his love as his character. The author tried to
I put my dirty clothes right there.
Okay.
Diaz is now lost both of his mind.
I do not grieve the same exact thing, Lio. Like, I understand that you feel the same way. I have lost... I don't really think I haven't done anything like that. And most people, when it comes to losing parents and stuff, I would understand because I've had friends that have been that. And it saddens, but the thing is, emotions are high when it comes to doing that, and I would understand why Diaz would be so upset when it comes to people disrespecting that, but at the same time, I don't know how to feel about that and have sympathy of some sorts. Because I kind of don't feel the same way. Yes, you have to respect that, regardless of whatever it is, and sometimes I have to respect it, but it's earned. Opinions are opinions, Diaz. Your opinion is valid as much as I do. Your opinion shouldn't be smothering you, basically. I have people that have opinions, and they try to retribute it by just trying to shove it down my throat. And I don't like it when people are like this.
issue was never really that you gave media criticism. It's how you authors your alleged criticism will boil down to YouTubers and spend all your comments in whatever political ideology you push. You sounded less like a critic and more like a reactionary. Your content was less Cisco Liebert and more deviant. The level of vitriol was also high. And I get it. I'm a guy that watches every franchise with that guy dragging I also get it.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. I love the cartoons and shows and movies and all other things I love. I have hundreds of movies in my possession that I enjoy watching. And just recently I watched the Hansel and Gretel Grimm Fairy Tale movie from 2021. I thought it was pretty good. I thought the direction of the entire story was pretty well done. But that doesn't mean I need to criticize it and be harshly about it, unless there's a reason to be. And I know some people are critical of people's opinions. I'm not really critical about people's opinions unless I do feel like they're trying to say something. But at the same time, it doesn't matter. And I'm gonna be honest too. I think most of the stuff that Miss Anthroponi does is not from the heart. It's a personal thing. It's never about a criticism. It's bias, straight bias, and most of his thoughts are so detached. I'm gonna also say this: most of all of his stuff he does is very detachment. It's very, very questionable whether these thoughts are genuine. My thoughts are genuine. I'm not even trying to put a filter on. I'm not really trying to be somebody else. I'm just taking that band-aid off and showing my true self, because people don't really like it when you put a mask on. I know this, but there's a time and place for everything. There's a time and place for all opinions. There's all statements, facts, debatable, personal beliefs, philosophy, you name it. There's everything for every kind of way. There's every kind of thought for every kind of genuine idea. No, Diaz, you were a total a-hole, not jackass. You were totally making everyone's opinions mean something. You belittled everyone. And I've already belittled you because of how you acted. It's not acceptable. Yeah, Jar basically was doing that too. And you shouldn't be defending people. I've already learned my lesson with that. You don't. You don't ever defend anybody like that for any particular reason. You don't. Because people are going to basically choke you to a point where your entire identity is going to be flushed down the toilet. That's what will happen to you, Diaz. Is that everyone's opinions are going to eat you up, and it's going to drive you mad. And here's my thing. I don't focus on people's opinions because they don't mean anything. Because even though they do mean something, I try to take it not so seriously. And sometimes I am serious. And a lot of times, I don't know if I'm being serious or being funny or laughing at. And here's the thing about me. It's really hard for me to whether I'm joking or not joking. Because I don't know if people are going to get what I mean, and people are going to... Because here's the thing about me. My personality is so different when it comes to different situations. I tend to always keep adapting to my situations sometimes. Because if you can't adapt, you're going to die. That's how the cookie crumbles. If you don't adapt, you're going to die with it. You're going to suffer. And by the way, if I keep doing it, I'm just being sure you guys are good. Because I'm always being sure everyone's okay.
I'm not going to defend what John did. I've been very vocal about that. However, labeling him as a defender of predation isn't exactly accurate either. That being the fact that he thought, wanted to think, she wasn't as guilty as people were saying she was. Jar's actions should be condemned, yes, but painting them as worse than they are is also an issue. On top of that, you left out something crucial that wasn't found out about until recently. If you were, in fact, seek that video for your own opinion. And by your own admittance...
Oh my god, what the heck? 3 paragraphs? That's over 500 words, 1,500 words for... God. I'm pausing myself for a moment. Oh man, this is so aggravating.
You did watch it, or at least listen to it. In response to a comment you were talking about how you didn't know the full scope of everything, you gave your approval. The problem with this, Diaz, is that you knew exactly everything Jar did at the time as well. He barely looked at the docs, and everything Jar knew was in that video. Even in the vacuum, it's condemnable. You being fine with it, even at the onset, is absolutely no problem. More so that you didn't come forward about it in this video. Jar had to out you in his response. This makes this comment in this video come off less honesty and more like you're doing damage control. In fact, this actually highlights the point I made earlier about how intense emotions can cloud one's judgment. You didn't properly look at the video, nor in the video.
He deliberately did not want to look into it because he knew if he were to do it, he would be defending somebody, and he did defend somebody that he should not be defending in the first place.
Sent him about the subject. This is because you trusted his judgment due to your friendship. Sometimes the best friend a person can have is the one that keeps them in check and accountable, the one to get pushed back. You being favored with a Jar due to your friendship instead of properly looking at a very important situation is absolutely a problem.
It's gonna be a slow burn by nature given I'm starting over on a channel that barely anyone knows about, but I did talk it over with some friends whose identities I will keep secret for the sake of their privacy so they don't get outbrushed by anyone who might hate them without watching this. And yet, you were right. I still have friends, because they understand that in spite of my anger or past trauma or issues regarding my hate them, that I'm not some sort of nefarious evil that needs to be stopped. They said they were okay with me starting over on YouTube as long as I didn't repeat any of the Twitter and DeviantArt alt account stuff that I did last year. And I do wish to make a genuine effort to keep my word on that. I owe it to them, and I also owe it to a lot of people. People who care about my well-being and whose trust I have driven. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. The actual bad stuff that I did in 2022 and 2023 was indeed horrible.
It wasn't horrible, Diaz. It was horrific. I cannot see you ever changing from that point on. Even though this video is about 2 months old, I still think you haven't changed. because you formatted in such a way to make yourself look good, and formatted because your tone of voice doesn't even change. Here's what I think to you, Diaz, or Christopher Thomas Diaz. You have never changed the tone of your voice, no matter what you did, and that's how disappointing it is. You can't do anything. And I'm going to excuse myself for a moment.
I think the friends that supported you making a YouTube channel did so without fully understanding what this means. You mentioned that action before, and then you crossed the once or twice. What reason does anyone have to believe you want to get? The pattern doesn't seem to be any different. You need to give people a reason or evidence for why you're not going to continue, and then stick with it. As said in the previous segment, the best type of friend is the type who will withstand you to your face when you're wrong. You've always struggled giving credence to anyone with a conflicting view of things. You need to start hearing those out instead of seeking only the most agreeable people on the things you do.
I'm going to have to agree on that with you, Lyle, at this point in time. That, yes, some things he has said and done, and the thing is, he is very biased on opinions. And I'm kind of the same way about people's opinions. I don't just let them fly because you have to really question people's own judgment. I judge people mentally, physically, emotionally. I don't just do that on purpose. Now, there's times and place where you can judge people's actions for any reason. I judge people all the time in my head. I don't do everything like always in there, because here's the thing, Diaz has always had those thoughts. He has demons he's fighting every day, every night, every waking second of his living, breathing human meat sack of a self. Oh, that's a whole nother mess I don't want to get into. The Rose situation, I know which one that is. I'm not going to say which Rose. But let's move on. Yes, they get a rise out of it because they're a bunch of psychopaths. And by the way, some of these videos are deleted also.
Honestly, it shouldn't have taken public attention almost 2 years after this movie to feel remorse of the call. I literally did the next day, regardless of what people think. I even had an apology sent to Rosa through a third party. While some people have doubted that this was done, the screen caps of my conversation with Rosa about it proves that she did indeed get a Oscar the day after.
Oh, that Rosa. That Rosa. I was thinking the other Rosa. Yeah.
On top of that, things were changed immediately after. They claimed the server was awful, but all it ever did was help you, whether holding you accountable or helping you calls to reach a middle ground with your crackers. Those calls actually continued even after the Rosa call, so you know that for a fact. For someone who wants to talk about media reviews, you seem to struggle with having your own independent opinions on a lot of things.
Considering how those people ended up turning out to be some pretty evil pieces of shit.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm not going to lie about that too. Neither do you, Lio. I'm holding that very accountable. I'm not going to hold that back, and I'm going to take the band-aid off of that one, so sorry about that.
The videos you flashed on the screen aren't exactly the most accurate.
Oh, there's a whole lot more than this.
The idea of responding to them, though, I haven't decided yet. But this is where I'll address your inability to keep values and price consistent. You talked earlier about how you got a bunch of harassment and how it caused you to lash out. This is used to recontextualize your actions in order to convince the audience that you have a reason for it. But that isn't extended to me, the person who did his best to help you.
We're almost there, guys, and I'll possibly stop the stream and move on to my game and stuff.
Regardless of whether the video tracking you or not, I actually didn't help. I chose to do it. Diaz, you know I've been dealing with literally the worst of humanity for 5 years before you joined me. You knew about the other pressures in my life. I don't believe for a moment that you didn't like the response, where I had to highlight that someone had been abusing me and screwing with my head for 2 years. If you're willing to label me as an evil POS, then you need to be consistent and do the same for yourself. You harassed people, some of which were kids, all over media taking arguments therein, broke trust multiple times with people that cared about you and already admitted to trying to manipulate your audience. You claim you're not as bad later on, by your own standards, you are.
There's one thing I'm sure a lot of people familiar with what I am about that be asking. Am I still working on that YouTube video, or will it ever be done in the future? Well, no, but the full answer to that is a little bit more complicated. As I said in the main comment, what I really want to focus on now is getting back into my passion for reviewing works of fiction, movies, TV shows, animation, and video games as expressive art forms. I hope I'm straying away from that so soon after starting this channel, so you will be seeing more reviews of stuff than anything else for a long time. Also, I'm not going to make this huge eight-hour documentary thing that's going to be like several hours long. Making a video that long for these people would be extremely ludicrous, and it would also take away from the time I should be spending working on the videos. I do still plan on talking about these people and bringing the violent actions to light at some point, as they should be talked about, but it's going to be different from what a lot of people assume.
I'm gonna stop it right there, yeah. So, I think, even if you do that in the future, Diaz, you're gonna try to twist the words around, and I know how you are. You're gonna twist them. You're gonna twist those words.
It's going to be some sort of feature-length documentary. It's something for another time. As for right now, I really just want to focus on getting back into reviewing things.
You say you're not going to be doing a video and you hate them, but later say you are. This isn't consistent. It can't be more. I still advise you not to do so. Not only is it going to exacerbate your worst behaviors, but you'll also give the bizarre people more ammunition to paint themselves as victims. I told you in 2023, I will tell you again. Don't. You want to make your media reviews? Go for it. I said it earlier, but it bears repeating. The type of people that harass and obsess over you are the ones that desperately want that attention. You should know this because when the screen cap of your file folder about your haters got leaked to the public, those people were already rallying others against you under the pretense that you're going to just blindly attack them. If you go forward with this and it backfires on you, you'll have no more recourse to take against any of them.
He will be like some of the other pedophile defenders and some of the people that try to say they're good people and other formats of others. They are going to fail flat on their face. I'm glad that hasn't happened with me because I know how to keep coming each time. And even though I try to make things interesting and try to talk to people like this, I'm gonna have to say I'm not gonna ever be like him, ever. Never want to. Disgusting.
Any response will immediately be met with accusations of doubling down on what they perceive to be an unwarranted attack. And at that point, the harassers would have won. Please don't do it.
There's going to be a lot of people who inevitably discover this channel who demand I get off the internet for my past actions. As if I'm more of a threat to their day-to-day lives than the stuff Trump is promising to do when he gets back in the White House.
Oh, that hasn't aged well. That hasn't aged well. Okay, that one is detractable because you have done that before, Diaz. A lot of this stuff seems very doubtful. Okay, chat, press doubt. Okay, you already made that. The G5 thing, that was a terrible detraction. Because I already watched your video about the MLP G5 stuff. You are pathetic. I'm gonna read. He did, however, stalk and harass people with alt, spied on people's Discord server, more evidence for his document and how is downplaying what he did. Cartoon She, who was a minor. Yes, he was doing that. Yeah, I'm just glad I'm not on Blue Sky, and I don't want to. Oh my god, that is so aged well. Oh, that has aged so terribly. That doesn't excuse your actions.
Downplaying your actions by listing out things that are worse doesn't use them. It's the exact same fault that Jar fell into recently was irresponsible. Zaso does nothing to aid people in answering their legitimate concerns for years, using a bizarre and frankly worrisome attractor.
That's not just out of, it's mostly out of touch.
And again, you expect grace, you don't see people. Expecting people to let you go because there's nothing to answer for. What you did was be petty or schoolyard. If you were, I wouldn't have disconnected from you. Even my most vocal of critics tend to admit that I'm not suffering towards stupidity in other people. What you did is not that. What you did was malicious. It was planned, it was intentional. To the point to where you actively tried to hide it from me. That wasn't something done.
And one more thing. If you're still affiliating with Lion Convoy or any of the Senate...
He keeps going. He's trying to dish him. Oh man, I would definitely say this is just hilarious. This is very hilarious. Like, I love how funny he tries to be, and he tries to take himself so seriously.
Everything they were exposed for since the start of the year, I have no reason to listen to you. That shit was 100 times worse than anything I did with those ults. I'm sure you guys were doing all sorts of victory laps at the
He doesn't have any reputation anymore. His reputation is -0. -0 to anyone that's listening. His reputation is no more than possibly the size of a breadcrumb. That's how disgusting, deprived, and deprecating he is. And I would genuinely think people are going to harass him because they hate him. I will definitely agree with that, Bram Waters. And we're about done. And we'll switch the tone of the stream after we get through with this. Your takes absolutely mean nothing, buddy. You're not any better than them. How you can just say that and you say you're better than them? That's your ego, buddy. That is your deep down most deprived thing in your own mind.
By your own logic, as the friend you mentioned at the beginning of this video is somebody who should give his thought credence or value to their opinion because she's a server when you talk. She's still associated. The fact that you do still listen and talk to her already admits that you have moral gray areas and your stance on this. You're trying to morally praise the others, being your haters is a I'm sorry, it's not. This isn't you being vulnerable and only working on property. This is you snapping back at anyone that takes issue with you, using the actions of others as a makeshift shield. And frankly, I think I've had enough people using me as a shield. He just did for 2 years, and he did for, well, just about the same amount of time. He was still running around with them saying to do the thing that I wouldn't do. So we accept that.
As horrible as Lyle Convoy turned out to be, I will admit that he was right about one thing. He was the only one who actually did anything about my wrong behavior regarding those multi-goals. It wasn't you idiots with your autistic Twitter/DeviantArt meltdowns or your infantile stop being mean to people with different opinions YouTube rants. If you can't handle being told the truth, that's not my fault, that's your problem. Get fucked, you evil consumerist shit.
Oh, Diaz, you are such an idiot.
Again, calling me evil when you did your actions is claiming they're evil, especially since I know some of them didn't come into it in a way. There's also highlights of your views on people
Yeah, you can't really put out fire with fire. If anyone is that deranged to just fight with fire, you are sadly mistaken. It's going to burn you to death. Verbatim. I'm gonna have to look at some of the stuff that Zayd has said, and I'll possibly tear them apart. 5 minutes, guys. 5 minutes.
You only seem to be using this wide brush and throw black ink on someone else, hoping people won't notice the dark gray you're wearing yourself. This leads me to another concern. You listed earlier all the things you want, but you left out the thing you are. And that's ableist. Any opinion or thought you disagree with, you label with slurs or other statements meant to deride people using the disabilities of others. Using autistic as a pejorative, especially from you, is an issue, considering that you didn't even want to admit to me and others that you're on the spectrum yourself, so much so that you needed a caretaker. Ridiculing others using a term to describe yourself as folly, and it shouldn't take me to point it out. In fact, you can argue that this is just a form of projected self-hatred, that you're attacking others with that language due to the fact that you suffer from it yourself. You stated earlier that you renounced the call of Rosa, which is fair. That call was awful and served no function or purpose. But the worst part is how she was treated in it and the language we all used. Quite a bit of it was attacking things she truly can't change about herself. So I want you to think about this. If how they treated Rosa is wrong based on no small part of that, then how do you think people feel when you use those same words and terms to go after people who suffer with the same issues, especially with the same level of vitriol? The only difference, it seems, is that you can personally justify the attacks using that language because it's towards your haters. If you're remorseful over the call of Rosa, then this is something you seriously need to think very hard on. You should also consider how it's made you feel when the detractors or other people use those terms against you to manipulate you for the opinion. Before you respond saying that it's okay to use those terms because you're on the spectrum yourself, I will ask you to recognize that using a slur as a slur to insult and demean someone isn't reclaiming it. It's not turning a sword into plowshares. It's still using it as a sword and being taken back when people ask you to stop sword-howling others. I don't know what the future holds for you. Right now, it doesn't look good. You need to let go of the anger. You need to starve your haters out by not feeding into the victim complex or showing them any attention. Sometimes a good life is the best get back. If you want to do media reviews, you can. You've got to stop coaching the language of media characters that care less for the art and more for whatever rhetoric brings to the audience. You've got to give the same grace to others that you expect others to give you, or preferably give others grace in abundance that you can give yourself. You made a promise to your father and you broke it. You made promises to other loved ones and you broke them too. And unfortunately, you've already proven to be dishonest in this video already. You may not be happy with the equality house, but I don't want to see you continue down this destructive path. This video is filled with apologia towards your own actions, vitriol against both detractors and people who earnestly try to help you. Please stop. This path will not end well for you if you keep going down. I hope you take the time to consider my words and recognize they are not here to attack you, but to try to help you. To my audience, thank you for indulging me with this open letter. I know some may be critical of me for doing this, perhaps sharing the same concerns I have for Diaz, but directed at me instead.
Well, I was also gonna... I just love hearing what he had to say. Also, by the way, I just got a notification that I can stream for a couple of days and get the requirements for live streaming now. And I think what I might do tonight, we're going to do our first stream on TikTok with everyone here for my Team Fortress 2 videos. Technically, I hope you guys are okay with that on TikTok, and just be sure that when I get everything ready, don't expect it to last that long, if not a couple hours at least, like this one.
Some of the best advocates against certain actions are the people who have done them in the course, like a lifelong smoker quitting and warning others against the action of smoking. There's times I'm going to be covering all the things.
But you know what? I think most of the video has already been said. We are going to do this real quick, and I'm going to say thank you for everyone that did join in and chimed in. We are going to be switching stream to something completely different. It's going to take me a couple minutes to set up. And I'm going to do double checking. But we're going to end it here.